Yeah, write that on the list. You want anything else? What do we need also?
Good morning. Good morning. Maybe we can get some, I don't know, you gotta ask for Faja. If I... Sorry. Good morning, guys. I'm just waking up, gonna get my morning show out of the way so it's not on the mind. As you guys are coming in, hi. Oh, konnichiwa. I've been watching a Japanese creator for like the past hour. Hi, hajimashite. Hi, konnichiwa. Hi. Oh, wakari. Daijoubu. I miss Japanese culture back in Hawaii. Like, it's not even funny. Hi, konnichiwa. I swear to God, when I go fluent, I'm gonna come in here and just speak Japanese, and it's just gonna be bomb. I know it. And they were like, "Oh, sugoi ne." This black girl speaks Japanese. What? Nani kore wa? And I'm gonna be like, "Hey, so desu ne." If you guys don't like Japanese, you probably wouldn't think that was funny, but I thought that was hilarious. Good morning to you. So yesterday, just to fill you guys in, if you guys missed my night show, my night podcast show, we debated about femininity versus masculinity. For those of you who have never been on my show, welcome. I have more of a, I don't know, of a real talk show, if you know what I mean. I'm not just here just to talk to you. I like to talk with purpose. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to put back up our debate that we had last night. I thought it was very constructive, very respectful debate, as opposed to our gun debate, which is never respectful. People either love their guns or they don't. But, at the end of the day, I don't know why people get gun laws construed with gun control. It's just a mess when we talk about guns. A lot of people debating about Ukraine. We could talk about that. Listen, we can talk about whatever you want. But I'm going to put back up the debate that we had last night because I thought it was very healthy. Again, femininity versus masculinity, because it's so important for, people to know the difference between, femininity versus masculinity, right? So come through. I want to know your guys' thoughts. What is it to you? Why is there a tug and pull, right? So we had this debate again, if you're just hopping on, last night. And it was very interesting to see what people thought, especially men. I heard a lot of men's point of view last night, but I really didn't get to hear a woman's point of view. I heard one woman's point of view last night where she was saying that she's a heterosexual woman, right? But she likes to take on the man role as far as working and doing things like that, So what is masculinity to you? What is femininity? Let me know. Let's, until you guys start talking. Goodness gracious. So my mic, for some reason, my batteries aren't charged. So for some reason, I feel that, yeah, I know now. I want to get my mic back on, but that means I have to come off and come back on or whatnot. I'm not doing all that. So what I want to say is, do you feel that race and culture has a lot to do with femininity versus masculinity? I really want to know. I do feel like black men have a challenge of being masculine. If black men cry or something like that, I just feel like being black and being a man has has so much pressure to be masculine. I don't know. And like for instance, Asian men aren't really that masculine. Sorry, not sorry. I grew up around them my whole life. Being from Hawaii, because I gotta rep them. And I find that Asian men can do a lot of woman role jobs. That a man did my nails. Okay, you go get your nails done. They don't mind doing the cooking. Why is it so prevalent here in the United States of America that men, and just in general, not just black men, but men have to be so masculine? You know what I mean? I just think that it disproportionately affects black men more than the usual because of their stigma here in the United States, here in America. It's culture. It's either you are born with masculinity or you're not. That's interesting. So you think it's a nature versus nurture thing. Okay. Femininity has been viewed as weak. Masculinity has been viewed as strong. It is the opposite. I agree, Fanny Jazzy. I agree. Like, for some reason, there's like this stigma attached to being a feminist now. It's something that really needs to be talked about. Why is it that men, when they cook, or not cook, but when men take on, feminine roles, like it's like looked good upon. But when women take on masculine roles, it's like, whoa, you're automatically boxed into some type of negative notation. It's kind of funny to me. The stigma is generational. It's passed down. That makes sense. What's wrong with being masculine? I don't know. You tell me. I don't see it as a concern. It's just natural to a man, isn't it? That's a question that should be directed at women. So why don't you guys come here and talk to me? The line is open. I'm so upset that my mic is acting up. I don't know what's going on. It's like the batteries or something. I get those rechargeable batteries. And I have like 4 charging right now. Excuse me? When somebody says, oh my gosh, she's trying to act white, can you please explain to me what that is? Can you please explain to me what acting white is? Like, are you kidding me? What are you insinuating? It's like, what, you can't handle a black girl with real hair? Like, get the hell out of here, man. Sorry. What are you guys even talking about? Like, just be yourself. See, this is what I'm talking about in society. It's like, I come here to talk about a topic, and you guys want to talk about me. What you guys hating on me for? What you hating on me for? What you got a problem with? You woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? I mean, what is being black to you? Okay, because I can tell you right now, I'm as black as it gets. Oh. I mean, a chick can't get a freaking trim? Y'all need to go find y'all happiness. Oh, okay, you hear the, oh, God. Listen, Linda. Listen, Queen Megan, 1990. You're a troll, okay? And you're blocked. With that said, I just want to spread some positivity. People who are going to be miserable will be miserable either way, no matter what. If they see something good in you, then they see something negative in themselves, then they will try to come for you. And I'm not bothered. I'm grown. I'm 36 years old. Okay, I don't really care about it. But what's upsetting is that some of these bullies, some of these trolls that are here on TikTok, are going to talk to somebody that's a little bit weaker, like these younger kids that haven't developed just yet cognitively. And when these trolls are allowed to continue on with their bullying, it's really sad to me. There have been a few people on TikTok that I have seen that have outed themselves because of the constant bullying that's going on TikTok. It really needs to stop. I have no tolerance for it. So if you don't come here with respect for this debate, you're out. See, I came here to talk about femininity and versus masculinity, but you guys just want to talk about white versus black all the time. It's like, why? Women are the biggest bullies? Why do you say that? Hi, morning. Nice to meet you. Alexandria said, in my opinion, anything past second ways, feminism is trash. I have to disagree with that one. Feminism is a huge bully. I have to disagree with that one. Feminism is what brought you into this world. Okay, you're. When I think of being a feminist, I think of like nurturing. I think of my grandmothers. I think of all the women in my life that have taken care of me. You know, when I think of soft spoken. I think of even our hair, you know, and being soft, you know. For instance, being an African American woman here in this country, in the United States of America, I feel that there's like this pressure to be strong. There's this pressure to be hood-witted. There's this pressure to be masculine all the time. But I like being softer. I like being more womanly, if you will. I just feel like because there's so much different identity crossing, sections or whatever, intersectionalities, I think that's what it is. I feel that we're losing it. You know what I mean? Because now, what if the next pronoun is him and her? So, I mean, it's not that it would be a bad thing, but what if all of a sudden being masculine is being feminine and being feminine is being masculine? Then we kind of lose what those identities from its core are. I see. If that makes sense. You know? Because everybody's just trying to blend in. So who do we have to look up to that's like a femme, you know, idol? Like, where do we go when anybody that claims a core identity is being shunned out because they're not being open to all the other sectors of it? If that makes sense. It's just a lot. Okay, so what is feminism to you? Why don't you guys come on here? I'm pretty sure I can have guests. Yep. I can have up to 2 guests. I don't know why I can't have up to 4 guests yet. I don't know why. I don't know why TikTok be discriminating against me. Denied for many centuries. The line is open. I want to hear you guys. Because it's hard to like get everybody's perspective when there's so many people right. This new pronoun obsession is so annoying and unnecessary. I have to agree. I don't think that you really need all of these different pronouns, you know, him, her, them, you know. No thanks to, who is it, that singer that made it normalized. What's her name? She's, God. It starts with a D, I think. Oh, what's her name? I got a brain fart this morning. And no, I haven't had a cup of coffee. I've been trying not to drink coffee because I drink so much of it. Like, it's just not healthy for me anymore. So I've been trying to substitute my coffee with tea. Demi Lovato. Thank you, babe. Thank you so much. Yeah. Demi Lovato normalized this whole like pronoun thing, and I just feel like it's just confusing. It's not a problem if you prefer a pronoun. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's getting a little crazy. Is all I'm saying. Some people don't fit in. Oh, we have a guest. All right. Hear what you guys have to say about the subject. Hello.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi. Oh, oh my goodness. What happened? Come back. I don't know why it does that. I feel like somebody's hacking my TikTok. Let me see if I can make sure. Is there moderators here? Wait, hold on. I have no moderators. I don't know why it jumps. Don't ask me. I am so sorry that it booted you off. I didn't do
Oh,
it.
girl. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, how do you can you do a video or just a voice?
Yeah, no, you should be able to do a video too, which I prefer.
Okay, me too. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. If not, I might try again or
Yeah. No, you're the co-host this morning.
Oh,
how you doing? Yes.
I just hopped on your live, and I think it's a really interesting conversation. And I just want to first off apologize on behalf of horrible white people that feel the need to do things like that, and those microaggressions that are fucking awful.
Yeah.
And so
thank you. I'm 36 and it still hurts. Can I say that, you guys? When people are judging you, it hurts. It don't matter what age you are. I'm sorry that people feel the need to judge me.
Yeah.
This is my real hair. I got a Dominican to do it. I'm so happy that I found her. Okay. And she did a good job. I got a trim, I got a cut, and it's straight. But why does it have to be me trying to be white for?
I know. I
have tender scalp. I'm very tender headed. So my coarse natural hair, it makes it hard to comb, and it's very hard to manage.
But I hate that but I hate that you feel like you even have to explain yourself. Like, that's so fucking annoying.
I know. It's really crazy. And guess what? From the topic femininity versus masculinity,
yeah,
I feel more femme when my hair is straight. I don't know.
Yeah. There's so much dialogue, and by the way, Sandy's my nickname, but you can call me Tiffany. That's my actual name.
Okay.
So
okay, Tiffany.
yeah,
That's what's up.
so
They call her Tiffany.
Yeah. Hey guys, everybody in the comments on this Saturday morning. Hope
and by the way, please everybody start following people that come through, because I want to support everybody. Let me follow you right now. I don't care how many followers I have. I'm really not into that. Okay, I followed you. I'm really not into. What is that thing? Real quick, what is that thing where people think that they don't have to have a lot of followers? That's so stupid. Follow everybody.
Follow everybody, and it's like once you do become like kind of an influencer, it's like they leave us in the dust that are not quite there yet, and it's like you were where I was at some point, so support people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You were giving me life this morning. So let's hear more about what I try to like to stick to the topic, because people get mad at me.
The femininity thing. Masculine.
Yeah.
I think like people don't understand that like societal constructs have made us think the way we think, and that it's literally been embedded in all of us. Like, but the issue is like how I would see feminism, like how you were defining it, was like I see feminism as not only wanting we want equal rights, we want equal pay, we want equal opportunities, because we're not even like literally I just took a class. I'm in college. I went back to school during the pandemic. I'm a single mother.
Wow.
And
so round of applause, you guys.
Thank you.
What are you studying?
I'm actually pre-criminal justice. I want to go to law school eventually. So
yes,
so I can be out here, and I want to help women. I want to help women that have been, victims of domestic abuse, or I just want to help people. And that's what my goal is, and to just be somebody that fights against, systemic racism and oppression, and I want to help those wrongfully incarcerated, etc. And I want to use my Karen for the benefit of the world. So.
Yes, girl, you won the pageant contest this morning. You won. You win. God damn, you got my vote.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you, and I know this is off subject. Hey, listen, if we veer off, I'll bring us back. But
Oh
what do
yeah.
you feel about the white savior? Like, I tell you guys this all the time. We
Mm-hmm.
need white saviors. We
Mm.
need white allies. We need you guys because we are minorities. But I can't stand when people say like they don't want they get
Mm-hmm.
mad, mostly white people and some black people, not a lot, but
Yeah.
some will say that they don't want you to fight for us. But I'm like, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm. Well, and actually, that's kind of a interesting dual conversation of like, I had a conversation recently, um, with one of my BIPOC, like I don't like to say friends. I think that when white people say like, oh, my black friends, like it sounds very cringy. So I like to say like
Right.
my BIPOC voices or my BIPOC loved ones. That like when I speak to them and we talk about that is like in actuality we need all white people to be at the fight of Black Lives Matter because
Yeah.
our ancestors are the one that created this shit. So it's like
Yeah.
I think we should expect to see all white people fighting for Black Lives Matter because black
Yeah.
people don't they should not be fighting for something they've already been fighting for so fucking long. Like
Yeah.
it needs to
And
be
really, I mean,
us doing it.
wouldn't it be wonderful to know that you were the generation
Yeah,
that fixed that rewrote the wrongs? And not all white people were part of racism or
for
even
sure.
slavery.
Yeah.
There was a lot of white people that were a part, and I was talking about this yesterday. There was a lot of white people that were part of the Underground Railroad. I mean, how many
Mm-hmm.
families
Mm-hmm.
had to come together to get people to come from the South to the Northern
Exactly.
region? There was
Exactly.
a lot of abolitionists, and I was talking to a guy yesterday from Texas who I said, so many white people are fighting for these statues of men that perpetuated slavery. Why not fight for statues like Gordon Granger, who
Mm-hmm.
actually announced under an Ashton Villa that black people were free 2.5 years later? There were
Mm-hmm.
so many white saviors in that
Well,
time, but it's
yeah.
not talked about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think a reason why a lot of people like love someone like Bernie Sanders, right? Like you see Bernie Sanders who
Yeah.
fought like stood up for Martin Luther King during the civil
What
rights
is going
movement. And
on?
oh,
Hey,
How we doing? I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
it's okay, it's okay. Um, and I think, and someone just had said earlier, can we dead the term BIPOC? And I don't. Do you feel the same way that needs to be?
you know what? Being African American and growing up I was born 85. I'm 36. So
Mm-hmm.
just to see all the different terminologies that we've had, black, people, a person of colored, it's just like it's just getting out of hand. That's why I'm proud to say that I'm black because I believe that although we were boxed in for a negative notation in a negative
Mm-hmm.
way, I
Mm-hmm.
think that we can create that and say we are black, we are united. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of picking us apart, I just think it's very divisive. But I
Yeah.
do believe that calling us person of color invites other races that are like biracial, and
Mm-hmm.
like there's
Mm-hmm.
so many Afro Latinas out there, and so
Yeah.
many white and black. Like my kids are like are white and black. I just think we just need to stop dividing us and bring us together. So I do think person of colors is where it should stay.
But I think,
uh,
yeah, but I think that it can be divisive. But I also think that we want to also acknowledge, because again,
yeah.
because if white Europeans never would have taken advantage of race being a thing, we would all be the human fucking race. But that's
Right,
not what
right.
happened. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to still
Okay, I see
acknowledge.
what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So with that perspective, yeah, that's the ultimate goal for us to not have an identity attached to our race.
Yes, for
But
sure.
what if we don't know? Like like
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is like say like somebody's adopted and they don't know their biological parents. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there is a need to identify because I can imagine, like, for instance, my dad doesn't know who his dad is. And a lot
Right.
of people don't like, okay, I'm black, but I've been told I'm Creole my whole life, which is something that I want to know. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have known that wasn't on my birth certificate.
Right.
So I do see the need to have something as an
I
identity. But
Yeah.
for jobs,
Oh, for jobs, for like freaking applications. Oh, get that shit out.
Yeah.
application, like, okay, so I'm a full-time
That's
realtor.
okay.
And so
Oh,
sometimes my clients, they don't know how to fill out the application for the lenders, which is not my job.
hmm
However, I do it because I get a deal anyway. So
yeah,
anyways, in the end of an application applying for a mortgage, they ask you, are you a woman? Are you a
yeah,
man?
Yeah.
Are you like it breaks it down? Are you black? Are you Indian? Are you? I'm like, what is this for?
Why are we always asking that? I know. So,
Yeah.
sorry, do you want to go ahead and say something?
Yeah, a little
Sticky
bit.
talks. I don't know what that is.
I got some spicy takes when it comes to this shit because I observe a lot of white people being a white person myself.
Yeah,
I
facts.
think that white people, the reason I actually kind of like BIPOC as a term is because I think a lot of white people are afraid to say the word black even. And this to me goes on to like a phenomenon I've seen where I don't think we've really like done anything about racism since like Jim Crow was abolished.
Yeah.
We really haven't. And like all that was we just turned like even with the abolishment of slavery, man, we just turned like the prison industrial complex into another form of slavery, right?
I feel like Oprah.
And it's like you've seen colorblindness, we've talked about it. Colorblindness is like all around us, man. Like I was watching a movie when I was a kid that had like it was set in like Victorian England and they had like a black and Asian knight in it, and I'm like, that wouldn't happen as a kid. I could see through the bullshit. That's like a fantasy
I like
world
that.
they live in.
That. I love that because I love the Greek movies. I love like
the
you know inclusivity. When I see a black soldier, I'm like, yes, spot on.
Yeah,
and it's cool. It's cool, but it's like we want to like just kind of create a fantasy world away from it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, do you guys know how I can get on the video? I don't know how to do that. Like,
you go to the settings and you put the camera on. I think you go to where it says multi-guest. No, you go to let me see here. I'm trying to figure this out for you.
By the way, where are you? Where are you from? Are you from the Midwest? You sound kind of like the people that I'm surrounded by.
No, I'm from Boston.
Oh, you from? Oh,
you from the East Coast? Hey, I'm in Connecticut. How you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
how you doing? Well,
I'm right next to Boston.
Right.
That's more like New York. New York's more like you, but like
yeah. I'm in Southern Connecticut, so I'm right next to New York.
Okay.
I've been here 12 years. Let me tell you, y'all need to slow the hell down. I don't even drive at night. No, I don't even drive. Screw it. I'm not driving. Yes, I'm in the slow lane because I love my life, and yes, I got my kids. They just don't care. I swear to God, this guy was like bumping his horn. He knows he's in Boston, just bumping his horn. This freaking guy's like 90 years old. I'm like, where are you going, bro?
I was on like I was on like driving down like Dort Ave with like my old boss from like because I used to be a drain cleaner. This guy like straight up like he presses like the pedestrian sign, you know what I mean? It's like you don't really press the cross button, you walk in certain areas, you know what I mean? You just wait for the stoplight. This dude like gets out of the car, goes, "You motherfucker! You're pressing that button now. Everybody's gotta wait for the fucking red light. You fucking asshole piece of shit!" And I'm like,
"Oh my gosh, it's intense." Driving.
If you'll allow me, though, I actually got this is a spicy opinion, and I'm hoping this sparks a conversation.
So off topic, it's okay.
My other problem with white people, right, when it comes to like racism, is
we love white people. Stop it.
No, listen. I feel like a lot.
I'm so against bashing white people, like the whole colonizer.
No, I hear you. I think it can be like problematic sometimes, but like whiteness is a thing, right? And one of my biggest issues I have is like I feel like there's a lot of white people out there who the majority of like their anti-racist activism, it's not about like abolishing like white supremacy or anything like that. It's about guaranteeing a seat at the cookout. Anytime that like anytime that like you see like a white person who's like supposed to be like on the like the leftist side of thinking, you know what I mean, gets called out for something that might be a little racist. Look at like white feminists, look at like white men speaking over people of color. They get like defensive because it's forcing them to acknowledge their privilege. They don't want to acknowledge their privilege. They want to say the simple conversation.
Oh my God, if you guys don't follow him right now, let me tell you something. I've been doing this.
This is my spam account. My main account I can't go live right now. But yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah, I just got. I think I got.
Well, you got to. Yeah, good.
I think I got hacked on Instagram.
Way in,
for being like, and you know, an activist and speaking out against racism. I get reported all the time for calling out racist shit.
Right.
And then I always use the small dick emoji next to a lot of men and they don't like that either. So. Yeah.
Which one is that one? I know it's on the A plan.
I think you're right too to say that someone said there's a lot of performative activism, and I totally think that is true. Like And then, people that when what happened with George Floyd, like they would, post on Instagram, like just when it was popular or trendy.
Right. Fanny, what you were saying about like how like white people need to be like kind of leading the fight against racism a little more. Yeah. That's what I mean is like it's not enough to just go. Did y'all see that video of that like little white girl during like the school walkout who goes on a podium and says, "I am so glad that years ago Martin Luther King, the first black man, ended slavery." It's like that kind of shit. It's like you say the most comfortable, like banal opinions about it that like don't matter, don't progress the conversation forward. And it's because you want a pat on the back. You want people in the crowd to be going, "She's one of the good ones."
Yeah,
have that plate, sister. No, you don't get a plate.
But the thing is, too, white people also need to shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah. You said it. I would never say it like that, but I'm glad you said it.
Yes. Because I think... Yeah,
but ahead. You have to be very careful with that because I don't think silence... Well, I think silence is violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
What you're saying is accept the feedback. And that's what Dr. Robin DiAngelo said in White Fragility. It is my opinion that White Fragility, that book that I have right here.
I have it too.
I have so many societal books. I'm reading Justice. I'm reading Stamped. I have so many. I'm reading How to Be an Anti-Racist because it's just, that's what everybody should be. But White Fragility to me is the cure to racism. And what's funny is that people like Ben Shapiro said it was a cult manual. Everyone who is racist hates that book.
Yeah.
It's just like, tell me how you really feel. Because it has... This is the cure, you guys. This is the cure.
I have it. I still have it, and I usually start books and then I can't finish them. And I have a lot going on being a mom and being a student, so obviously.
I'm glad you admit that.
I also have Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. Also, so I have that one too. I have so much reading to do. But one thing I do want to bring up is a term that I just learned in my English class, which was cognitive dissonance, which basically is the feeling that I think a lot of white people and men feel, which is like, even when they're presented with really rational points, they're so tripped up in their ego and their pride that they don't even want to go down that lane of changing their opinion. So like when I'm having a conversation with my oldest brother about race, about racism and things like that, he is so wrapped up, not only probably in his whiteness, he's so wrapped up in his ego and pride that he's too stubborn to want to change that mindset. Does that make sense? So it's like, I think that's literally crippling white people. I mean, and in a way, like my counselor had told me at one point, he was like, "Tiffany, I think that we can hold people accountable, but still have compassion." Like, I think all the assholes at like the Capitol at the insurrection, they've been fed so much shit and are brainwashed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can still, or how were they raised? How were they raised as kids? Because it must have been really horrible, right? So it's like, I can still look at it through that lens of having compassion for them as humans, but also holding their asses accountable and being like, but this is not okay.
Right.
Oh my God, I love you. Let me tell you, I hope they give you your own show too.
Yeah, I hope they give you a show. Thank you, Adria. Fanny. One thing that speaking of that, speaking of that, it's a complicated issue, and one of the things I've noticed actually that makes it really complicated. I grew up like working class, right? Mm-hmm. There's like a conversation about the intersectionality of whiteness that needs to be had amongst white people that we aren't addressing, and it's that like there's like different forms of racism, right? It's like you got like white men's racism, you got white women's racism, you got like the lower like working class white man has his own brand of racism that we won't talk about. And it's like most of the conversations I see around like white privilege, all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Things at like the base level, they're so focused on like the upper middle class white person. And I remember like growing up, I was like, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. People were like, "Where's my white privilege?" The closest people got to it was like, "Well, you just get arrested while like black people get shot. That's your white privilege showing. That's not a privilege to get arrested. That doesn't make sense." It's a different conversation. It's about how like, you know, growing up in my hood, like if you're a white dude and you get into a fight with a black kid, you like the black kid's getting arrested, whether or not like you're like you're the one who started it. It's all that shit. it's a different set of issues and a different form of racism we got to talk about. And if we don't talk about it, then we get a lot of people like at the Capitol insurrection. You know what I mean? We get a lot of people voting for Trump because like the white working class. Oh yeah.
And I want to talk about that Trump thing.
Yeah. Andrea, and I want to let Andrea talk some more too, because I feel like we've been taking over the conversation. So I don't want to be.
No, I love it. I love it.
Okay.
This is going on my podcast.
Yes. Awesome. I was just gonna say really quick, like, look at like you're so right. Look at the response at the insurrection from police versus the response of the Black Lives Matter protesters when Trump was out there holding that stupid ass Bible, and they had all full on deck. Like how gross that was, the response from Black Lives Matter. That just shows you how racism is still crippling our fucking world and our country. Like,
yes.
Man, white people are just jealous. Let's really keep it fucking real. White men are mad. Sorry, and don't not all men, because white men have been jealous. It's been patriarchy, misogyny, and all this shit has been wrapped up in racist shit too. Like all of it.
Let me say this, and I love you because you basically say what I want to say, but
no, don't feel bad. Like you should like. Oh, and let's have that conversation too about Native Americans. Like, yeah, exactly.
Let me say this. I think because I grew up in Hawaii. Okay, so I grew up with.
I was
Asian
born
people.
there.
You were born there. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm a military brat, so I was born in Alaska, raised in Hawaii. Yep. And I got to travel a little bit in Michigan. I went for 2 years, but then my family, we loved Hawaii, so we stayed there.
That's awesome.
But what I want to say is, I want to say something good about white people, because I've been around them my whole life as a minority. I don't know if people realize this. In Hawaii, white people are minorities.
Yeah,
and they are.
My dad went to Waianae and he had to start talking pidgin to like survive.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
What you know about Waianae? Let me tell you this. If you start doing, I'm gonna speak pidgin. Pidgin isn't how we talk back in Hawaii. There you go. Listen, in Hawaii, white people are very vulnerable to racism. They are very much racist against white people. They're called haoles. And Black people are minorities. We're popolo, but we don't get the backlash the way haoles get back home. Like I grew up watching white kids, and they're minorities too. We all used to clean together because we're the minorities, but they would get knocked out. They would get made fun of. And it was so sad to see the opposite of what I was seeing on TV. I only saw racism in Hawaii on TV because we'd watch American History X. This is America. We watch all these movies. The first time I watched Amistad was in history class.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was the only Black person. All these Asian people were looking at me. I was like, what you want from me? I didn't make this up. So what I want to say is this, prejudiceness is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. White people are organized. I like that. White people can be super freaking kind. I mean, some of the sweetest people in the world. I'm sorry. Especially old white people. Like this old white man that when I at my job once, he's from England or something. He was the sweetest guy. I just met him. He let me go into his house. No racism in his body whatsoever. So I just feel like white people, or even Tiffany, or even a Sticky over here, Sticky Talk. There are so many white people that don't tolerate racism, that want nothing to do with it. Why aren't they getting platforms as opposed to on Fox News that represent people that, like, what's her name? What's her name from Fox News?
Oh, fucking
Ingram, something like that.
Right, fucking
Lauren Ingram or whatever.
Lauren irrelevant.
Or even Boebert. Why or
Boebert,
Why are these people having these platforms?
I know,
being the loudest.
Because that's what I'm saying, and that's what's it's not scary, but it's so fucking annoying, because I don't know if I just got hacked on Instagram, but I was finally starting to get some footing, and now I can't access my page, and I'm like, they really want to silence little old Tiffany in Michigan, like, but I'm not.
Michigan?
Yeah, but I'm not little. I am fucking powerful, and that my voice does need to be does need to be heard. So does Sticky's, like, and yours, and it's like, man, they really want to tear us the fuck apart, not bring us together.
Yeah.
And the people that are trying to,
I can say this.
Yeah. So
what part of Michigan? Do you know where Hazel Park is? You don't tell me what part of Michigan you are, but do you know where Hazel Park is?
Hazel Park. No, where's that?
Oh, that's in Michigan.
Well, girl, you know the state of Michigan is big. We got the upper
okay,
and the lower.
So I used to live there for like 2 years, and I still.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think they're showing this dynamic where there's a man, there's a woman, and there's a person of color, and there's white. Like we just in our conversation, we have so many dynamics, and they don't want to see us having these conversations, getting along. Although we're not really disagreeing. See, I have people in here that do disagree with us. So if Red's
someone
here,
say that white is a color in your comments.
What do you say?
Someone said white is a color in your comments because they were disagreeing with you.
White is, oh goodness gracious.
So,
but, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just reading the comments. I'm reading the comments.
Have fun with that.
Who's the loudest? Who's the loudest?
Oh, I think they're talking about like the white like racists.
Oh yeah. Oh, they always think they're the smartest people in the room too. It's like, you're not.
Yeah.
And there's this, what's really insulting? Let me get my Candace Owens little. She always does this.
Yeah.
Well, she tries to make a point. Let me just say this. I hate when people say that you're uninformed because you don't think like them.
Yeah.
So therefore,
I can agree with that. That's pure identity politics, you know? Yeah.
I mean, I also want to I do want to dial it back to the femininity and the masculinity thing, because I think we're seeing like an outburst of such misogynistic shit on TikTok. The men are these damn men, every goddamn man now. Sorry, no offense, Sticky, have fucking microphones.
No, that's cool.
Hey, hold on, but women again. And but women's voices need to be heard. And I think something within men and masculinity is they always feel like they are the only voice in the room. And then when it shifts to women, they look away. You don't understand how much I've experienced that in my life between being a hospitality worker, a bartender, no matter what I'm talking about. When I start to speak, the man automatically disengages in the conversation. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Hey. Like, I just let you talk my ear off for 37 minutes, and now you want to hear one lick of what I got to say?
Right.
So it's something within men, and like that they feel that they're the most important. Yes, and especially white men.
Look, I agree. Whatever you say, ma'am. But can I say this? I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Because I'm 36, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to 60. Because black don't crack. Black does die early. No. Let me tell you this. I like when I have a boss that's a man. I like being interviewed by men. I hate working with women. That's something that I've heard too, and I understand that because I think that women do get jealous of other women, but then it becomes problematic. So I'm like, I want to support and uplift women. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a sticky, literally, it's a sticky topic. It's a sticky thing.
Yeah. So like, I think that a lot of like, this is like a really weird take. I think that like masculinity and femininity are like some of the most useless traits about us in like the modern world we're living in, right? Yeah. Because realistically, right, it's like these like pure misogynists are just gonna get left in the dust because
they really
in reality, like going back to like the olden days, right? Like we had a hunter-gatherer society, people had different roles, you know what I mean? Back in like tribal stages. We're not in tribal stages. That's not the way to survive. Right. Being like buff, you know what I mean? Being ripped, like listen, I'll come out. I'm like a very masculine dude. In fact, some of my masculinity is very toxic. It's because the way I grew up, like I learned how to like this. You want to talk about toxic masculinity? Talk about like the like white working class men. We grow up like learn to be like hardened to just like be always on the defense. It's a problem we have, and in reality, those skills don't like benefit me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't get benefited by being like a loud, fucking obnoxious person. Yeah. I don't get benefited by being a tough guy. Not to cut you off, but
in the East Coast, as I'm in the East Coast, I'm right next to. I'm in Connecticut. We're New Englanders. Let me tell you this. I'm from Hawaii, where women are like more valley, like, oh my God, we're more feminine.
Yeah.
But since I've been here, like in Hawaii, I used to make my voice even softer because it's being masculine as a woman on the West Coast is not normalized. But when I came here to the East Coast, like every woman, beautiful, blonde, redhead, it don't matter, is popping off and being very masculine. They're
yeah,
so aggressive.
But that's the thing. But I feel like me living in New York too also shaped me a lot because I was exposed to that different, unique culture. I grew up in a small ass town with no diversity in Michigan. I live about 30 minutes from there now, and you know, like, and I just think we have to take a hard look, like Sticky was saying about like the roles that were asserted during the. I literally just read about this in my social problems class. The roles that were asserted to us, men going out in the industrialization period to go do these physical jobs, they were deemed as stronger. But I'm looking at it like, were they stronger to go do those jobs, or were they incapable of doing these stuff at home because women have been doing the jobs at home, the unpaid emotional and domestic labor? Like, those people don't even know that those terms are a real thing. That is what a single mother does, a housekeeper does. Like, that is a whole full-time fucking job, whole full-time job.
Yeah.
And the reality is that like it's not like conducive to like being successful in like the world that we're living in now. It's like women can be lawyers just the same way. There's nothing about like women having a better like ability at being a lawyer than a man does. You know what I mean? It's like these whole ideas we have about femininity and masculinity. It's like holding people back in our
Andrea,
society.
can you block
You know what
this
I mean?
one? Sorry to interrupt you. Can you block this motherfucker, this troll? Can anyone name one privilege whites have except not fearing for life when pulled over by? Who is this person?
Yeah, MS. Actually, let me answer his question.
Okay, go
let me
ahead.
answer his question for a bit. I am the white guy that you're referring to, who's like a working class white guy. I had it tough. I've been in the jail system. I've been homeless before. You love to bring me up whenever you're talking about like white privilege is like a little gotcha moment. Let me tell you something, little man. Here's the thing, right? Is like people like you want to make me a lackey for like some of the like the upper class white man, you know what I mean? The slave owner, that kind of guy in the past, or the prison owner now. You guys want to make me a lackey to spout your racist views. You want me to blame all my problems on like my next door neighbor who's black or the guy who's like Vietnamese across the street from me. That's what you guys do. You guys create problems which cause that prejudice you were talking about, where there's prejudice towards like white people in certain areas. You know why there's that prejudice, bro? Is because we created problems for people of color. And whites have it bad too, not just black people.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you something, little homie. Let me
Read
tell
his
you
ass.
something.
Read his ass for filth. No.
Let me tell you something. Like, when I get arrested, right? Was I ever like shot getting arrested?
Nope.
Did I have a judge who straight up like gave me a slap on the wrist and said no misbehaving for the same crime I saw a dude getting 6 months for when I was in court? That doesn't happen to black people. All right. So quit using me as your little virtue signal, because you don't actually care about the problems that like affect like certain people with class and stuff like that. You don't give a shit. You want to use me as an argument
to
for
justify
the
your
sake of,
racist shit.
Gotcha, white privilege don't exist. No, you're just stupid. You're just too stupid to see it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this. Why is there a need to? Well, I think I can answer this. I just don't understand why some people that are white feel the need to attack other white people that are allies of humanity. It's really not.
I know. It's really problematic.
I think they see you guys as a threat.
They
do.
They do.
It's
in reality though.
That's
the
good.
Truth is
it means
like
we did something good.
Yes.
In reality though, you were talking about white fragility.
Yeah.
I don't agree with some parts of that book, but I do.
Can you explain?
Like it.
I really want to know.
I'll get into that, but the main thing I do agree with is that like, if these racists want to like preserve whiteness, right? If you want to preserve whiteness, we can't make whiteness so fragile.
That part.
You know what I mean? You can't make whiteness fragile if you want to preserve it.
I have biracial kids, and I want them. They want no part of it. Like my 14-year-old, she is white passing. She has blue eyes. You couldn't tell that she was black unless you saw me. And I want her to be proud, for instance, of who
Right.
she is.
Who she is.
At entirety. Yes, my daughter actually, because she knows I do this, gave me one of her papers. She's in 9th grade for the Jim Crow law, and I love that I've been able to instill some of this in her of being proud to be Black, because she's going to live in a society where they're not going to see her as a Black woman, so she's going to have white privilege. However, I never want my daughter to feel ashamed for being white. Just like Black people put the Black fist up and say Black power and we're proud. That's beautiful. I think if white people can switch it up, instead of saying white power means white superior, I think you would be able to see a difference in, look at me, I'm in Italy now. I think you'll be able to see, I think you'll be able to see a difference of unity and centrality via the culture, not via the race.
Right.
So, and Andrea, my daughter as well. Hold on.
Sorry, Tiffany. Before, I want to hear what you're saying, and I hate to interrupt. I just want to respond to what this dude said. I want to shut MS down for good. So he
hold on. Wait, before you get in trouble, can we just hear what she was going to say, please?
Sure.
Okay. No, I was just going to say, I too have a multiracial child, and I'm hoping to change the narrative of problematic white mothers who do not discuss race with their multiracial child. That I am educating Genevieve, my daughter, on Black history. Out, obviously, and that her school, I actually want to maybe run for the school board, local school board, because I want to make sure they're not whitewashing history.
Is your daughter biracial? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I guess I've heard that the proper term now is multiracial, because she's not just obviously African and white. So I've heard that that's the better term to use, the more progressive term. And I know we talk about all these new pronouns and things. So I'm learning every day, just like you guys are. I'm just trying to do the right thing and letting Genevieve know that the part of you that is Black is powerful, and people are going to be jealous of it. In that same said space, your race does not define who you are. So so it's like, it's real tricky, but I'm just trying to be on the right side of history. And I think that not talking about race is why we're here, that it needs to be acknowledged and addressed and talked about. And because
painting for Fanny.
Right.
So what did you want? Yes. And
go ahead, Sticky.
Let's just say this. You're being a good mother because you're putting your daughter's interests
right
above your.
Absolutely.
You have a fiduciary duty to your daughter to educate her, independently on societal change and everything. And your daughter's going to be a powerhouse. Let me tell you, if you keep.
Thank you.
What did you want to say?
All right. So
shut him down, Sticky.
Let's try not to attack each other on here.
Yeah, let's try not to do that. Yes,
but say what you want to say to him, because maybe, maybe we could change his heart.
Or like my brother says, try to move the needle. If we can't bring him all the way to our side, we can maybe move the needle.
Yeah. Listen, so you said there's like plenty of people in positions of power doing better than the average white. You're saying that like he's been homeless, where's his privilege? Let me tell you something, right? I want you to look up the statistics on how easy it is for a white person to get out of poverty than a Black person to get out of poverty, because there are statistics on it, and it is significantly harder. There's significantly more stopgaps for a person of color to get out of the situation I was in. Like MS, right now, I got like, my other account has like 800,000 followers. I got like a career in social media, right? Like I'm living good. I got a bomb ass girlfriend. Like my life's good. That's not as easy that's not as easy for other people to get out of, and that's what you got to understand. You know what I mean? Is you got to understand that like there's stopgaps. Yeah.
That the system has been set up to purposely and intentionally been set up to not give Black people the same opportunities as white people. And that's everything from education, resources, access to wealth. Let's talk about generational wealth. And
somebody how brought up my freaking count. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You said what?
No,
you got 100K.
I do not have 100K. It's actually been very hard for me. Okay, go ahead.
It's been very hard for me too. I'm trying to get up there too. No, but like no one wants to talk about school to prison pipeline. that affects young Black boys. That once you're in a system, it is very difficult to get out of that system, especially if you've committed any crime. And everyone wants to talk about Black on Black crime, and we're not talking about, oh, well, I'm sorry. Did you watch Dateline and ID Discovery? Always some white people offing each other. We don't call it white on white crime.
Right.
So it's
Right.
right. You know what I'm saying? And let's have the conversation of why do people commit crime? Well,
yeah, but Black people get really into it. But this is where I look like a Candace Owens, because you know what? I could tell you what, and listen, if I'm turning more conservative in this aspect, so be it. I am a business owner, and I have worked my ass off. Okay, right now I'm studying to take the broker's test, and at this point, there's no excuses for us anymore. I'm done with the excuses. Now, I would never call a marginalized race a victim mentality style. That to me is just the worst thing you could ever do, is to call Black people victims and make it seem negative, because victim bashing is really just disgusting. Okay, because guess what? We have been victims of society, but guess what? You could be a survivor.
Well,
you
that
could
too.
freaking choose every single day to be a part of the solution of your own life and your community's life and your race's life and our historical. You can make historical changes. I have done that. And I worked my ass off. I'm in a dominant white neighborhood. It don't matter that my man's white. It's even worse, to be honest, because when you were with a good white man, this is what they don't tell you. If you find a good white man that white women want, the heat is on you.
Here's the big issue.
They don't talk about that.
Here's the big issue, though, I have when like people talk about issues like Black on Black crime and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
They use it as a way to justify racism. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing is like, the people are saying like, oh, I blame the Black community for not like handling their stuff. That's why we got to over police the neighborhoods. Here's the thing: is like, the Black community has been like creating organizations to combat like crime in those neighborhoods. They've created Girls and Boys Club. There's the Dorchester Youth Collaborative in like my own neighborhood I'm from. Like, that is like that's like stuff they've done to combat this stuff. The way that white people handle Black on Black crime, right, is it's almost like they like set your house on fire and then say like, why didn't you put your house out?
Yeah, I agree.
House out. Your house is on fire. It's going to burn other houses.
That I agree.
Can't create problems for a community. Put a community in poverty, and then like complain that there's crime in it. You can't do that.
Exactly.
You know
what? You're the voice of reason. I swear to God, you got my vote. You got my vote. But let me just say what I don't want to do, because I got cousins, Black cousins. My little brother, he is most wanted in Hawaii. I said, he's 28 years old. He's my half brother, but he's done. He's ruining his life. And he's a product of the missing father. But is he a product of poverty? He lives in Hawaii. You know, my mother babied him. So at some point, because I have a history with people in my family making poor decisions, I just have no tolerance for it, because we're all individuals. We all have choices. Okay, so the society set us up wrong. Okay, so we live in undesirable cities. Why aren't we doing everything humanly possible to get our communities back on the right tracks? Because I live right next to a town called Gun Waving, New Haven, and Hartford. Okay, there ain't a day that goes by I don't see gun violence. So at some point, we even have to stop being fragile. Okay, and some of this stuff we perpetuate ourselves. Like, okay, so Black on Black crime isn't a thing because of 70% of all races do crime with each other. However, they commit the fact.
Right. They commit crime
that we're killing each other at higher rates than any other race. It's got to stop.
But
you
then
know
again,
what though?
But then again, our Black communities killing each other more because white people are the main committers. Is that a word? Committers? The ones that commit these mass shootings. There's massive amounts of gun violence in the white community too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and a lot of it doesn't get like prosecuted because like policing bias and like bias on like juries and judges and stuff. So it's like hard to know the actual number.
Right. But what kills me is, off the topic of the gun thing, we are all motherfucking poor in this society because capitalistic rule is fucking destroying us.
Yeah.
So what kills me when these white people in the South vote Republican, I'm like, you're fucking voting against your own interests. You're poor too.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it kills me.
Let's just say this. When I first started doing this in 2020 about Black. Sorry, I froze a little bit.
Yeah,
I could not believe how many people were okay with Republicans saying racist things. Like, I just don't, at this point, like, to think that Republicans aren't racist is freaking ridiculous. Not all of them.
Ridiculous.
Maybe some of them have some traditional values. But, like, for instance, right now, there is the Don't Say Gay bill.
Oh my God. I just can't.
Like, come on, man. Like, why even combat that? They created a bill that says that wants to stop education pertaining to the LGBTQIA in schools. Republicans are against that. They stopped the George Floyd policing act that was being pushed through Congress. It has so many solutions. So what I'm finding out is that the left constantly is pushing out these solutions, and Republicans don't want these solutions because there's a benefit with creating a race war in our country. There's benefit.
That too. That is very, very true. And that's what literally Trump did when he got in office, and he hijacked every white person's fear and fragility and divisive thinking, and he uplifted it and put him on a fucking pedestal and on a stage and made it seem cool to be a racist motherfucker.
That's what I mean when I say that, like,
period.
Period.
That's what I mean when I say the white people kind of become lackeys for, like, the, like, you know, champagne racist, I'll call it. You know what I mean? Is they become like lackeys for them because the reason they're voting Republican is because they're blaming, like, all their problems on, like, you know, the black neighbor, your Hispanic neighbor, all that other stuff.
The Democratic cities.
Yes.
Democratic cities, like, they blame it all on other things when it's like they're the ones creating the problems. You know what I mean? We look at, like, going back even to, like, the whole black on black crime situation. Here's the thing, right? Is, like, getting out of that way of thinking, man. Listen, I know some people who it's like, how are you supposed to know how to be like an upstanding man? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When it's like your father's doing time for possession of marijuana, and I know people, like, some of my homies are doing time for possession. There's people doing 20 years for possession. It's because they want them there, because then it adds more people.
Oh, our friend left.
Oh, Tiff. Hopefully she'll come back.
Yeah, come back.
It adds more people to the prison industrial complex. You know what I mean? So that they can just create more of these situations where there's, like, crime and poverty, etc. Because that's what they want. You know, we want slaves. Welcome back, Tiff. I'm happy you're here.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, my stupid alarm went off, and I had to. Yeah. Anyway, struggle is real. Wait, where'd Andrea go? Is she still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you? I can't see you. Did you leave the screen?
Yeah, I left for a second.
Okay.
Oh my.
Okay,
I'm getting over a cold. You still haven't figured out how to get your camera to work.
I still don't know how to do it. I go to the pink and blue, and there's nothing besides just end now as an option.
What kind of phone do you have? You have an iPhone?
Girl, you know I got an iPhone and damn Android.
I'm telling you. Okay, let's play this versus that. Android or iPhone? You know I'm about to say iPhone.
iPhone all the way. Sticky, what you got?
Ketchup or sriracha?
Wait, ketchup or... I didn't know those two were in combat to be a thing for dipping sauces. I would say sriracha. You say sriracha?
I can't do neither of them because I got a problem with vinegar.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let me see. What else? You guys got any?
Oh,
Malcolm X or Martin Luther King?
Oh, don't make
both.
Me do that.
Both. We can't do a either.
Hey, can I give a shout out to Philip Randolph too, though? Because Philip Randolph was also a badass, and I want to put his name there because he's cool.
You said neither.
Andrea, I wanted to say something too about, and I'm sorry I got disconnected, but like, okay, for instance, like my daughters, I do call him her donor, like not really to her, but I say when I refer to him because he's not in her life, and he's a very scary person. I believe him to be a sociopath, and I think again, like about having compassion but holding people accountable, like that's a really tough thing for me too, as a white woman and as a white person, to not feel a type of way about the way that not only I was treated and abused, and I was actually raped by him as well. I'm going to be full transparency here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of trauma from that relationship.
Yeah.
That, the whole single mother conversation is also one too, because society just drags us all the time if we don't allow the father to be in the child's life, that it's usually fucking for good reason. Yeah. And also it could be that I had a relationship with an abuser, and yes, he is a Black male. Yeah. That doesn't make all Black men monsters at all.
No, but I think that something needs to be said, that a lot of Black men are in these aggressive roles. I mean, did you guys see that one video?
I disagree with that, because I gotta disagree with that.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I'm telling you right now, I have never been with a Black man.
Wow, really?
Never. Maybe because I'm from Hawaii, it's due to proximity. I could have been with a Korean guy real quick.
Well, that's interesting, because you don't meet a lot of Black women that are with white men.
Yep, never been with a Black guy. And at one point, I got so upset at my experience with white men also can be abusers.
Oh,
Check
absolutely.
this out. I was with an Italian guy that was very abusive to me. So let me just say this. I never been with a Black man because I think, or never, like, I never really sought them out because of the abuse that I dealt with.
Yeah.
With my stepfathers beating me every single day.
Yeah.
My stepfather, there wasn't a day that went by that he wasn't in our life for the 8 years that he was there, where I wasn't getting my ass beat. I'm talking well to my leg. I'm talking worse. So to say that Black men aren't abusive, some of them are the most abusive.
Well, yeah, and they've and for generations.
It's true.
And generations of men,
not all of them, but there are a lot of them are.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And Black men have adopted the views of the slave owner and the patriarchy. They have adopted those same patriarchal views and misogynistic views. And so what I was basically saying is, like, my heart breaks that he's a piece of shit. But you have to have the conversation, and like my therapist helped me work through this, which was like, you cannot have that man in your life because he is unsafe. He is unsafe for your daughter and yourself, because I don't know exactly. All races can be abusive for sure.
That's true. Yeah.
But there has to be accountability. Like my ex could have broken the fucking cycle. He could have broken the cycle of a dad not being part of that equation. He could have broken the cycle, and he didn't, and he chose otherwise.
Yeah. So exactly. So let me just say this, and very, very clear. All men can be abusive. This is true. Sure. But to be afraid to say that Black men are abusive, too, sometimes is ridiculous. There's like this sense of being fragile to talk about Black people in our issues. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
as white
people.
Imagine
this. I'm a young Black girl. Okay. Right. Yeah. I was one once upon a time. And the only men in my life put their hands on me. They took advantage of my trust. Yeah. Let me tell you something. My stepdad was my daddy, and to this day, I know where my real dad is, but that was my dad. He was like, when he met my mom, it was like, oh my God, now we got a big house and everything was great. So I looked up to him. So imagine the first time he said, well, I'm gonna have to whoop that ass. Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, wait, what now? And my real father never put his hands on me. So this big Black dude would take a belt, and he would even name it, and he would just terrorize us as kids. And it didn't stop until I turned 12, until my mom left. So to say that, okay, I can't talk about my Black experience, or you can't talk about your Black experience with your ex, and now you have a child by him, it's just ridiculous. Right. Yeah, and Black people are the first ones to say, oh, hold up, don't say Black men are abusive. Yeah. Well, some of them are. So what you got a problem with?
I was going to say, actually, Tiffany, like, listen, like, we all know what white woman tears are, okay? It's like a whole conversation to have, you know what I mean? That's fine. We can have that conversation. But, like, this is something I noticed that happens. Have you been paying attention to the Modern Warrior situation?
I have.
It's like, that dude was, like, abusive towards her. You know what I mean?
Do you know anything about the situation? Do you know
what? No, I don't know. That's why I completely blanked out. What's that?
before we get into it, though, because you can explain it if you want, but I just want to say that like people will throw around white woman tears sometimes to like discredit like women when they're talking about abuse, and it's like you can't be doing that, man. That's an absolute virtue signal.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I will say the situation. Okay, so I'll explain it, Andrea, if you want me to.
No, excuse me. Sticky's talks. I really am happy. We found him. No, this guy's a freaking protect him at all costs. What's going on, Sandy? Yeah.
What? You know what?
I'm really impressed.
I can't get protection. You don't love me.
Oh no, that was a gift. No, that was automatic. I didn't even think that was even a question.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
No, but somebody. Let me see. No, both of you guys. I'm so happy that you guys have collaborated with me.
Yeah, and
I think that we have a really good dynamic.
For sure.
But I do have to warn you, if you do come back here, I do have some followers that disagree with everything we just said. So
I see that.
Yeah.
So the situation with what's her name, Chelsea Hart. What is it, Sticky? Chelsea Hart, something.
Chelsea or something. Yeah. I don't know. Her name's Chelsea.
Okay, so
yeah,
they're two big influencers. Modern Warrior is a indigenous, Native American. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, he's indigenous.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so apparently they were dating, and she spent money flying out to see him, and something about polyamory. Anyway, he basically lied. It seemed like he, at her very vulnerable moment, talking about her miscarriage, preyed upon that, and then she flew out to see him. He did not discuss that he was sleeping with other people.
When she explicitly told him not to do that, or else she wouldn't sleep with him.
Wow.
Which is a huge violation of like informed consent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's abusive. You know?
Yeah.
So what's up with that though?
And
no, I did see that is really trending on TikTok right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically it feels like, this is a person who's all trying to be like change the backgrounds.
Yeah.
that like that a lot of men will manipulate and say to women exactly what they want to hear, then to sleep with them. And she, I don't think is saying that it wasn't consensual, but she's saying that she would not have. It's uninformed consent. She was not given all the information, and that feels like
but
just hella manipulative.
Like, okay, so no, I did see this on TikTok because I follow him. I don't follow this girl Chelsea, but I started to see the arguments that's going on, and he has already apologized about this.
Kind of.
So basically. Kind of. But why is he being shunned out of TikTok because of this? He's done so much good.
He has.
It's like it only takes one thing that he has to do for people to completely discredit him. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Do you know how many men out there freaking have multiple or fuck boys?
Yeah.
So a Native American is a fuck boy too. He's a man.
That part.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. The reason why I do think it is a big deal though is because like this was more than just like because we've all dealt with cheaters, man. Like I've been cheated on. It sucks. You know what I mean? This was a case where like he said to her like, yo, like, can I go do this? Can I go sleep with other women? She said, no, absolutely not. That would be like the worst thing ever for me. And he chose to violate those boundaries anyways, which is like concerning.
Yeah, but is it an anomaly that men cheat?
That's not the anomaly, but it's like the clear violation of like set boundaries. Like, let me give this like an example, right? Like,
but I mean, we all been cheated on.
Yeah,
but that doesn't make it okay. But that doesn't make it okay, and I agree. I agree. I'm still exploring monogamy, and if I even agree with it, but my single self is very different from my relationship self. So it's like I can say as my single self that. When I get constantly blown up by married motherfucking dudes in my DMs, I'm like, listen, I'm not just like, yeah, you know, like, yeah, I realize I'm amazing and a unicorn, that I'm funny and smart and all those things, but like,
yes,
you know what I'm saying? But get it together. If you don't want to be married, get out of that shit. Okay,
I agree 100%. So, are you a Sagittarius? Because I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah,
I'm a Virgo.
So like,
you're a Virgo.
Yeah. So like the reason why like I think a lot of like
fire.
Let me give you like
You say I'm fired or fired?
Listen,
Yeah.
I feel like because he's Native American, and he's had such a large influence on systemic racism and just like everything a part of societal change. I just think it's kind of like people are just waiting for him to screw up because
I hear that. Yeah.
I think so too.
That I think it's being blown about a proportion on TikTok. I've seen
there's
so
no
many
doubt
videos
about that.
of people taking the opportunity to get clout by bashing this dude.
Destroying somebody else.
Totally.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of racist trolls that are trying to, really like have, from what I understand, been violent towards him, and so
two wrongs don't make a right.
No, exactly. Right. So I think there is so much conversation because we're so programmed once again about heteronormativity and about monogamy and institutions of family, or what is the normal way. Like, is that not only is heterosexual the normal way, which we've been told is straight is normal, versus what if it wasn't? What if it was being fluid across the spectrum? You know what I'm saying? So there's just so many conversations and breakdowns that I'm still learning and unpacking. But if I'm interested in a man and I say my views on monogamy might change and might shift, they use that as a way to think that either I'm out here fucking a bunch of different men or that I want you to be with multiple partners. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just exploring constantly and becoming enlightened about the things that we've been told are normal. So
right. And let's just say this. Back in the olden days, and I do feel the need to stick up for him because I just feel like what's happened to us is wrong. But let's just say this. Even in a biblical standpoint, like back in the olden days, polygamy, being polygamous was normalized. That was actually a holy thing to have. It wasn't a stigma about having multiple wives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? What's the name? Sarah. She even told her she couldn't have a baby, so she told her maid to have sex with her man. The Bible has the most juiciest stories, let me tell you. She told her maid to have sex with her man so she could have a baby. And then he ended up loving that baby, but then she ends up getting pregnant. It's just so much drama.
Right.
But like,
I'm not.
My man, I think he thought I was like a jealous. Well, people in his life thought I was a jealous type because, like, I don't know, maybe because I'm black or something. I don't know, but I'm really not that jealous. He thinks I'm so jealous of him, but I'm really not. I just don't like shenanigans. For instance, his best friend's girl goes on the couch after I just had a baby and ends up talking to him for just to him. She didn't even direct her conversations to me. They're talking about friends. And doing like a trivia thing with friends. And I'm black. I didn't watch Friends that much. I was watching Martin. I was watching Prince of Bel-Air. And they'll be and laughing at each other. I was just like, yo, I'm out. But he thinks I'm jealous because I demand respect. But if he goes out with one of my he went out with my sister, or if he had a close girlfriend that knew me and respected me, I wouldn't care if he hung out with her or things like that. So it's just kind of amazing to me how the standards change. You know what I mean? Over time.
For sure. And that is such an interesting thing. And I do think once a woman is intimate with a man, like once you're intimate with a man, there is something like emotionally or biologically that does change. Like it feels like the woman becomes more engaged in the man and the man becomes disengaged. I don't know what that is, or if it's biological.
You're absolutely right on that. But can I say this? When I am single, like, and ready to mingle, I don't want a relationship. I don't care how hot you are. I don't care how many abs you got. You know, I maybe I can hook up, protectively. But I remember there were times in my 20s where I did not want a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'll hang out with you, bro. Like, I do whatever. But I don't tell me you love me. Don't do that.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. They'll gas you up and say, like, even if I didn't really want a relationship, or I was kind of navigating this new situation with a guy, they'll tell me everything I want to hear. And let's also have the conversation of how scary it is out here to date as a single mother of a daughter.
Right.
And how threatening that is to my life and my situation, because one of the last people I went on a date with about a year and a half ago actually threatened my life, actually only being with him for like a month. We didn't even hook up. And he made a verbal threat against my life. Like, do you know how fucking scary that shit is? Like, and he knew where I lived. And that's what when we talk about, dialing back to masculinity, femininity is cancer. I'm like, no, masculinity is something I'm attracted to. There are toxic attributes of masculinity. And y'all are threatening. Men are threatening. You don't worry about going down the street and getting fucking raped. I do, though.
Right. Yeah.
You don't like wear
Interesting
extra.
conversation about that, right?
Yeah.
I'm a male survivor of SA. I was assaulted like 3 times in my life.
Okay, wait. When you were younger or when?
Younger, up until 16.
Okay, so you were a child. So okay, I
once
totally.
when I was 4, once when I was 14, once when I was 16.
Okay.
The thing that I've noticed, right, is like our beliefs on patriarchy are exactly what puts like men who end up in those situations. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because we view men as like these like indestructible beings.
Yep.
You know, I saw someone talking about like sex ed, and they grew up in Canada, right? The sex ed for women was this whole class on how to say no to sex, how to turn it down.
Yep.
They didn't have that class for men.
Right.
They didn't have that. We don't value men. We don't treat virginity the same way in men as we do women. And you talked about how there's like this like emotional response to sex that women get, and you feel like men kind of move away once they have sex with someone. Where that actually lies in is because somebody said there has to be psych studies on that. It actually lies in our genetics. Is that back in like our primordial times? You know what I mean? Back when we're like primates, it's like it was smarter for men to have like multiple partners and stuff like that, so that they could like spread their seed wherever they needed to do it to reproduce. For women, they wanted to stay like close to a partner so that they'll keep reproducing, you know what I mean, to try and make more babies. It's a survival technique that we're still letting like affect our day-to-day lives.
Right.
And we got to get out of like that's when I say like the patriarchy's outdated. It's like this stuff should not be like determining the way that we act as like human beings nowadays, because like things are so much more complex.
Yeah.
I remember
I
like
remember thinking that I had to, when I was younger. I remember thinking I had to like if I have sex with a guy, maybe he'll like me more. Maybe he'll want to date me. Maybe
I know.
Maybe he'll marry me.
Yeah.
And it just never it never really that they would have sex with you, and then they just move on. And I remember feeling like, because I have a missing father, there's a need of having a masculine presence in at least I wanted that in my life. I remember feeling young, and I shouldn't have lost my virginity as a teenager. I was 14 and a half. But I remember feeling like nothing. Like just feeling like after we have sex, like just worthless. Right. Before you have sex with them, you are like, they're on your face. They want to do this for you. And then sex with them.
Telling you, it changes. They do the change up real fucking quick. Yeah. And what kills me too is that men don't understand. I was trying to explain this to the last guy that I was talking to, who claimed to be a feminist, who claimed to be an ally of women. But he's not, because he would get so triggered when I would bring up things, because your girl's a deep thinker. Your girl's a deep thinker. And I'm not in the same space as I was when I was in my 20s. And he was a younger guy. But I was like, you don't think about sex the way that a woman does, because a woman has all this pressure to not only, if I do want to have sex with you, I'm judged. What if I want to just have a quick hookup, right? Right. That I'm judged. No, if I don't fucking sleep with you, I feel better in some ways because I'm withholding my pussy. Sorry, I'm getting vulgar, but that's the fucking truth. Right. And so it's like we are constantly having this inner battle.
Yeah. But then also men act like they're entitled to your pussy. Sorry,
that too. That fucking too. And then what kills me is like,
it's early.
It's early.
Y'all saying the P word at 9:26 a.m. I'm like, God dang.
Girl, we grown. We all grown here. No, but like,
yeah, that's right.
I was celibate for a year and a half. That was the most clear I've been in so long. I wasn't dating anybody. I think a lot of people took this time during the pandemic to really reevaluate their lives in different ways. And like, I'm not mad that I ended up hooking up with this guy, but I'm mad that, you know, sometimes when you meet somebody new, you just like, you lose yourself so much in dating, or you feel excited about this person. And then when it doesn't work out, you're like, well, what the fuck did I even do that for? Like, but what I was trying to tell him, was just like, you don't understand the inner struggle of
I've been lost for 6 years.
You said what?
I said, I've been lost for 6 years. Okay.
Yeah. So like, it's just a lot. A lot is so heavy on women. Like, and yes, men do feel very entitled to our fucking bodies and our spaces. Right. And it's like,
and get this, catch this. If you don't give it up real quick, then you're a prude.
Oh, you're wife material. but then you're also life insurance.
Yeah, there's the Madonna complex. There's the you're
Madonna whore,
complex. There's like way too many expectations put on women that don't make sense.
So many.
Way too many of them don't make sense.
And let's talk about this. I have been single for 6 years, but when I was single and ready to mingle, let me tell you this. One thing that I was really over real quick was freaking dick pics. Like, is that part of masculinity? Because let me just say this. Men like to show off their business.
Their noodle, yeah.
And is that a masculine thing to do?
Because they feel
like they're like
think we want
Italian or something?
They think we want to see it. They're so vain. They think we want to see it.
Listen, man, y'all want to know
like why do that?
Y'all want to know some undercover shit I think about men as like a straight man myself, right? Here's the thing. Is like we've been conditioned, right, to believe in like heteronormativity and stuff like that. Here's the thing, fellas. You can't call yourself straight until you've at least been to the gay bar. You can't do it. I've been to the gay bar. I'm not into dudes. I can't even watch like look.
You gotta do the
real
test.
Intimate. I can't even watch like porn because there's like a big like Johnson on the screen. I don't want to look at that. That's not what I'm into.
Well,
I don't like it.
It's a vanity thing that they think that.
Well, you know what? Yeah, when I was curious about being. Well, let me say this. I have SA2, and it's something I don't understand. I was too young, but I still remember bits of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And from then I realized it affected me in the S way, and men have been so aggressive with me sexually since the beginning that I don't really. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Right. Yeah.
Unless they're super aggressive, and then it does do. If that makes sense.
The thing is,
but let me just say this: I, in my mind, would rather. In my mind, I feel like I would have more of a better experience with a girl. But every time I tried it, it just wasn't what I meant.
The thing is that
it's weird. So sexually, I feel like I want that femininity within men. Like I don't want
that part.
I want a man to be to be caressive and gentle.
Oh, and soft and to be, but see, society's told men they can't.
Yeah.
But if they're sensitive or they express their feelings and they're soft and they're weak.
One thing I've noticed about men in dating, right, is like there's a lot of, and I've experienced this myself, and I'll get into it if you'd like. I'm going undercover for you ladies, so I can like tell you how it kind of works. Explain it for you. So there's a lot of pressure on men to get like validation from their homeboys about like who they're dating. For a while, I felt weird, and I'm like, I hate to admit it, but it's something that I felt weird about like dating women. I'm a really skinny guy. I felt weird about dating women who weighed more than me. Wow. Because I thought I was taught that like the dudes are gonna shame you for that and everything else. You know what I mean? The way that like we teach like young men about like sex and stuff is like most of them learn about it by watching these like porn videos where it's like the it's very clearly made for men, and it's stuff that like women wouldn't actually appreciate.
That part.
Get some guy going.
Well, no, exactly.
Like
there's no connection. There's no intimacy. It's just like raw dog like sex, and it's like that's not what a lot of women. Most women, all women, roughly, I would say, want.
When you say raw dog, I swear to God.
Listen,
I just want to die from laughing.
We want intimacy. We want a connection. Right. We want you to pay attention to what we like.
Right.
We want, and it just seems like men are so like not able to connect to that, and it's like, come on.
I don't understand it, and it's like there's so many there's like incel types, right? That think like women to get their attention. Man, listen, I'm like an average looking guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like an average looking guy. And that's fine. I don't care about my looks. I like the way I look. I'm confident in the way I look. And the thing is like, what I understand, the reason why I got a smoking hot girlfriend who's like a redhead and feisty and like, has the same libido as me, wants to go like all the time, is because she appreciates that I'm like respectful of her. You know what I mean? The women like you being sensitive. That's not a bad thing.
Your mentality makes you even more attractive. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Like when you start talking,
but please actually be that person, because what I'm saying is a lot of these men will act like you sticky and then they're not really like that. They'll use it as a way to get women. Like the guy I was talking about, the guy that
tricking us.
Soft boys, they call themselves like soft boys, where they say like I'm so fragile, but it's a manipulation tactic. I totally agree with that. I just think like
okay. Well, I hate that we're losing views. Maybe this is not the peak hour, but what I want to say is like the hot guys that all the girls want that were masculine though. So you gotta maybe understand that. That's why the competition is there, because the jock, for instance, the jock in high school was a masculine.
The reality is that I've learned from my experience,
all the girls wanted him. So do women? Do we set the standards?
Oh, I disagree with that. I disagree with that entirely.
Is what I'm saying.
I think that men are kind of setting artificial standards for themselves. Because truth be told, man, like I'm not the most like. If you look at me, I'm not the most like masculine guy. Like, yeah, I worked in plumbing. Yeah, I've gotten into a few fights in my life. I got like a shit ton of the tattoos. You know what I mean?
Sure do.
But like, I'm a little bit more like feminine in some ways. You know what I mean? And I haven't experienced that kind of like outrage. This is something I see from incel communities. They want you to blame like feminism for the fact that you don't get laid. That like women just want like feminine guys now and stuff like that. It's not true, dude. Women just want like guys who got like more than 2 brain cells, who can like think about like an encounter like sex. Deeply,
can I say this?
You know?
I love when men wear nail polish.
I do too. I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
I love when men accessorize.
This is what I think.
When men smell
yeah.
good.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what I think is funny.
I'm trying to tell my man, but he don't want to do none of that.
That's like what I tell, like when we talk about racism and when we talk about like homophobia, and it's like, y'all get yourself some fucking seasoning. Like white people, get some black voices in your life. If you got some black voices and influences in your life, you might fucking get some fucking sauce because you're gonna be influenced by them. Like, same with fucking men.
Right.
Like, fellas, get fucking with it. You ever see, you always see bad bitches all the time around gay people. So like,
right,
get over yourself, because a lot of men are like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like the same people justify racist shit will justify homophobic shit. They'll say things like, again, I don't feel like I can be super critical about if like, because I have dated black men that are very misogynistic and homophobic. That'll be like, I'm not against gay, but like, keep it away from me. What are you talking about, Jeffrey?
You know what the reality is, Tiffany, is like what you're sensing. The reason why those kinds of men aren't attractive is what you're sensing is like manufactured confidence versus like true confidence. Like if a man has like the confidence to wear nail polish on his hands and stuff and feels like his like manliest ass self, that's like sexy, that's confident.
That's sexy.
Manufactured confidence. Nobody wants to see you like stumbling to be like, like nobody wants to see the veins popping out of your neck when you're trying to talk about like how manly you are. It just stresses them out, and they go, that guy is insecure.
Insecure, exactly. Like,
yeah, but I do like to see the veins.
That's a different conversation.
I love the veins. That's actually funny you said that, Andrea. I have like a hand obsession, and I like to see like the veins of like a man's like wrist. Oh my god, that's funny.
Oh, your veins are popping out.
I mean, not veins that are popping if you're like trying to hurt me.
So,
that's not no.
Like, because my man is Irish. I like when he turns red. It's a real
cool
thing. My son does the same thing.
Yep.
When he turns red, I'm like, wow, how did you just do that?
Yeah. No, it's like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if y'all would get a clue and try to evolve, but y'all want to just stay where you're at, you can. I think people need to realize, like, oh, I can change my mind about something. Like, you don't have to stay in your ignorant mindset. Like,
right.
Yeah.
They don't want Tony.
Speaking of like,
the gay men don't want you. They don't want you.
Yeah, but I just want to say this. Yeah, exactly. That I agree. But what I can say is this: when it comes to femininity, I feel like trans women, gay men have really helped with that. Yeah. But I just wish they would give women that were born women some credit. Not that they have to always put us on a pedestal, but I feel like they have forgotten about the mothers of femininity. You know what I mean?
I said earlier in conversation before I hopped on with you, Andrea, as I was like, literally, humanity would be nowhere without a woman. And you all need one of our sex chromosomes to start a life cycle. Literally, I just learned that in biology. like, because we're XX as women and they're XY. So it's like they literally need a female chromosome, because if they ever to be two Y chromosomes, they would not be able to start a life cycle. And people are like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah. So you need
Here's
to
a
raise
little
women.
controversial conversation. If cisgendered men, like men who were born like men, could get pregnant, we wouldn't have a conversation about abortion.
That part.
It wouldn't be an issue.
Exactly. Oh my God.
That part. That fucking part. And
the fact that we could even debate that, it's so insensitive.
There's no science coming from the pro-life side. Trust me, you know what I mean.
Nobody wants. And I see posters even in my town that says at the 16th week, at the 18th week. It's like most women do it the first second they find out. So it's just like, which is in the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, I've had 3 abortions, and I'm a fucking phenomenal mother. And I think that
there you go.
Women's testimonies about who have had abortions that also have children is very important, because ask me how my fucking life would be if I had 4 children. Now, and then it comes down to shaming the woman once again of, oh, she was promiscuous. No, honey. And I shouldn't have to justify, even if I fucking wanted to jump on dicks every fucking day, that the fact is, a man can get a man can get a woman pregnant every day out of the fucking month if she's ovulating. A woman can only be pregnant.
A woman can have
9 months out of the year.
A woman can produce up to 300,000 eggs in her lifetime. 300,000 eggs. And you know how much sperm men freaking
oh God, billions.
Yeah. Okay. So just because there is an aborted embryo doesn't mean she can't reproduce more eggs, and it doesn't mean she won't reproduce and have children. It's really sickening.
And here's the thing, right?
Will shame a woman for making a decision in the first 6 weeks to not put a child in abuse. I had 2 abortions with an abuser. And if I kept those children, I promise you, me and that child would be dead.
That part.
Right.
So,
and here's the thing, right? Is like, if you're a man and you want to complain about, like, abortion, about how you feel like you have a say in it, I hope you've paid off all your child support.
That part too.
I hope you paid off all your child support.
They don't even want to pay.
That part too.
They don't want to pay. Look, I worked in construction. The majority of the guys working in construction were like working off the books, so they didn't have to pay child support. It's an epidemic.
Yeah, they don't want to pay child support. Then they get mad at the woman. And let's talk about all the women that have died because men are in fear of being in debt. Because if you don't pay your child support, you're in contempt of a court order and you could go to jail. Women have died because of this thing called child support. If men were so supportive with women and us having so many babies, trust me, we would have them because we love doing what we were made here to do, which is procreate. Okay,
right.
It's so sick to me that men take no accountability, and we get people like Ben Shapiro, a freaking mic, to talk about what. And he's Jewish, by the way. He ought to be a freaking shame of himself as a religious man to even, with his yarmulke, even talk down on Black people, talk down on women, talk down on anybody that doesn't think like him. It's so
disgusting. That's what I'm saying. And these pro-lifers want to sit out here and shout, oh, being pro-life. They're the same motherfuckers that say all lives matter. They're all fucking anti-vaxxers. Say y'all don't give a shit about lives, about humans. You won't
I'm pro-death. I think we need some people dead because they ain't worth the time.
No, oh my God! I'm not pro-death. I want to live. I want you guys to live.
Listen, Andrea. All we're saying is it's Darwinian. Weed these motherfuckers out because they are irresponsible. They are they are reckless. They don't care about their community. They don't care about kids. Look at all these crazy people showing up.
Somebody say, "Yup."
Yeah, like that's the thing is, right, is like, it's like that's the joke they constantly make about pro-lifers is they're like pro-life, but then they're also like pro-death penalty. They want to like keep like impoverished kids impoverished, you know what I mean? They want to blame like people for like having babies when they can't like, support them and stuff like that, as if they didn't put them in that place where they can't support them, you know what I mean? They bash single mothers all the time, and it's like, you aren't pro-life, bro. You're pro like fetus. And you know what a fetus is to me, honestly? Is that it's got about as much life as like a tumor.
It really does.
It feeds off of your life force. You're not required to keep that shit.
And let me tell you, you had 3 abortions, Fanny. Let me tell you this, and I had 2. let me tell you this. It is a horrible experience. Okay. They give you a pill. Okay. One, when you go into the clinic, there's people with pickets and they're telling you don't do it. And then you go in, they give you a pill to start, and then you take a pill when you get home. Your uterus opens up and you have to give birth to this embryo on your toilet by yourself with no medical attention. It hurts.
It's horrible. Yeah.
It's
and
very painful.
Yep.
So for anyone to even bring it up, it's like, are you sick?
Literally, they are. And the 3 I had was all surgical, but one that I had, I was under for 2, and then one in the Virgin Islands when I lived there, I was awake, and that was like, that's what I'm saying. It's not when people are like, oh, you can't use abortion as birth control. It's like, who is saying that? Do you understand that? Like, do you know what I'm saying? How much of a decision it takes to come to that? Yeah. Like, and typically, yes, women are doing it alone because the guys are assholes. But like, ask me how y'all want to say pro-life, but then what are your solutions for when I have this child? Oh, then you're anti-government assistance. You don't want me on fucking government assistance? Well, how am I taking care of these kids? Because it's expensive out here to raise children, honey.
Yep.
Right.
But you don't want me to have all the resources. And when's the last time, Karen, you have adopted or, taken a child in from foster care? Oh, you haven't. Got it. Got you. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. I can't.
They want to sit there and tell you to keep an embryo, but as soon as you have the baby, now that it's been born, okay, emphasis on the born, well, everybody's gone. Yep. The minute you push the baby out, I got 3. Everybody leaves, and you're just left alone with this child. And when bills are coming in, you're left alone with this child. When the man is still abusing you, you're left alone with this child. When you can't get a job because of systemic racism, you're left alone with this child.
Yep. It's a hurry up and die mentality.
Yeah, no, it's sink or swim, motherfuckers. Sink or swim.
It's hurry up and die.
It's not pro-choice. It's her choice.
It's her choice, and it's also pro control of women. Tell us you want to control women. That's what it's fucking about. And y'all men too don't like to lose control of women, and you don't like to lose control of your money. That's one thing I'm noticing too. Right. That these conversations are out here about women who want a man with money. What I think we're saying for the most part, yes, some women want their bills paid? Absolutely. Do some women want a wealthy man? Absolutely. We're allowed to say that. But I think most women are saying this is transactional. You want to sleep with me, but you think that you should get it for free?
Right.
So, let's have the conversation of how we want security, that part.
Yeah, security. Let me just say this. It takes a team. When I first met my fiance, he was really butthurt after I had my child, and my company went kaput, and he's been having to uphold us for the most part. But then I became a realtor, and I started making money, and I'm now making even more money. I think it's just going to keep getting better because I'm about to be a broker. At the end of the day, he might get to a point where he won't even have to pay bills. It really takes two to make a decision to have a life together, or you know what I mean. And
teamwork makes the dream work.
To procreate with somebody, this is a 2-person party here, not 2 people in the world.
No, and as a single mother, you understand being a mom too. Yeah. Is that okay? I'm already doing everything. Don't take the fact that me as an independent single mother that's doing everything, that you can come into my life and not fucking contribute. No, your dick is not enough. Right. I need you to put your money where your mouth is and say, baby, can I help you pay for your light bill this month? I don't know where men are getting it twisted that just because you see a single woman doing everything on her own, that you don't have to try and lessen her load.
Right, exactly.
I don't want no scrubs.
I don't want no scrubs.
Can't get no love from
what
me.
I want to know is, okay, so I have 2 baby fathers, one that I'm engaged to, and one that we have joint custody. And what I have found is that I tend to find daddies of the year because they don't mind paying the child support. In fact, I called the child support people just to see where I'm at with payments with him. They said he paid 1 payment in advance.
Wow, you're lucky.
So
you're lucky.
I've never had. Well, we agreed to an amount that he felt comfortable with.
Give that man a trophy.
You know what? He wasn't a trophy husband for the little.
But hold on, really quick.
Father.
Let me just say this though. What Sticky you said, give him a trophy. It's interesting how when a man just does what the fuck he's supposed to do, we reward them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that where I kind of fucked up right there, and I thank you for calling that out.
True.
I kind of fucked up there.
That's
I appreciate that.
The bar is set very low when it comes to men.
Sticky, I'm gonna. If you're not leaving, can I let somebody else on, and you can come back if you're still here. I never want to boot you because we are the three amigos. I think our dynamic is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just want to bring another man on here that has a different perspective. I want to see what Fanny has to say.
Yeah,
but don't go anywhere if you're not
listen.
trying to leave.
Hi, Sticky. Okay. Awesome. Right. Sticky, make sure you follow me, and I'll follow you.
I followed you.
Oh, okay, thanks, Boo.
Okay. Okay, come back if we're still on here, because I think it's important for you guys to know all of our followers.
Hi.
Oh.
So this is my friend
What's up?
Who has different point of views.
I do, and I had to chime in.
Then we do.
I had to chime in on a couple of things. So, I'm very on the fence in different ways when it comes to abortion. I don't know what the time limit should be. I'm not a scientist, but I think there needs to be a time where the time comes where, okay, you had a time to make your choice. You can't go back now.
It's already in existence though. But 6 months, you can't have an abortion after 6 months, I believe.
I think 6 months is too long, but that's just me. Because I don't know exactly when it happens, but I know at 4 and 5 months that the baby definitely feels something. And that's the part that, like,
how do you know? Are you a baby?
It's proven.
Proven where?
In science. Do you not believe science? Y'all trust the science, right? That's what you do.
I try. Okay, hold on. Easy with the attack mode. Okay.
Oh, I'm not attacking. I'll show you attacking if you want. And I know you've never seen the side, but
wait a second. Are you okay? Because you usually
I am. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. So we all have things that we're very passionate about, right?
Yeah. You are you passionate about this more than the guns?
Yes.
I can tell.
And so,
but why? Why are you?
Because you're not a woman.
So passionate about something that a woman has to make a decision of.
Because, well, here's why. So, I know that. Well, and I feel that if you say, I'm gonna circle around here, okay? So, the question is, what am I supposed to do with the kids? What do y'all want me to do with the kids?
Take care of them.
So, well, no, but the answer was like, if somebody's being forced to have a child, what do they do with them afterwards? You say, like, have them and then give them up. But I hear this argument a lot. What do you want me to do with them once I have them if I don't want them? So
yes, please get to the point. We're asking that. Yes.
So I go back to, you could ask any kid. You could ask any kid, whatever situation they're in, would you rather be dead? And they're gonna say no.
What?
Wait, what now?
Why would you do that why would you even ask a child that? That's like abusive.
Exactly. It's abuse to fucking kill a kid when it's inside your womb.
Okay, well, that's your opinion, but are you taking in consideration why women make the decision to have an abortion and what leads up to that decision?
So no, I get that, but I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, there's a time frame, and I think that 6 months is too long. I think, like, here in Texas, 6 months is too little.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I don't think anybody was saying. I don't think anybody was saying that we think abortion is okay after a certain point, or that it isn't impactful. But let me ask you though: Are you a parent and are you a woman?
He is, but he's not a woman.
I am a parent. I'm not a woman, obviously.
How would you like me telling? Hold on, Andrea.
Yeah.
What's your name, man? Not just Poe. What is this? What's your name?
My name's John.
Hi, John.
Just John with no H.
Okay, gotcha. John, let me ask you this. Why would I, as a woman, be telling you what to do with your penis?
That's two different things. If you're telling me is
choice of words.
What's that?
Oh, like, I just think it's interesting. Why do you feel entitled to my space in my body, in my choosing to not have a child, or whether or not? Well, let me finish. We let you talk for 17 damn minutes. Why would you have the right to tell me what to do with my uterus if I don't have the right to tell you what to do with your penis?
You can do whatever you want with your uterus, but there was a life inside of it. That's a whole nother situation.
That Okay, well, again, a fetus is different than.
It really is. Like you said, okay, listen, you said that you didn't know the anatomy of an embryo. I am telling you right now that as I'm a woman of God, I would never have taken a life that was living in me if I thought that I was murdering my child. Okay, that is so extreme. I don't think any woman would murder their child. The mere fact that it's called an abortion because the meaning of abortion is aborting birth. So I can understand what you mean by there has to be a cap on the fetus development, because at certain points they are developed to a point to where they can feel, like you said, they have eyes, their heart is beating, their brains are working, things like that. Like I remember when I was pregnant with my 3 kids, they all would respond to me with kicks if I would lay a certain way or do certain things. So I get that. But what I'm saying is most abortions happen within the first 6 weeks when they don't really have anything. They don't even have nuts.
And we're also saying, John, like if you have an issue with, if you want to have a say in what women do with their bodies, why don't we have a say in what you do? Why don't you get mandatory vasectomies then?
Yes.
Does that feel invasive? That feels invasive to you as a man? Well, how do you think it makes us feel?
Once again, that goes back to my point.
You haven't really made a point, to be honest.
Right, exactly. Listen, I do believe what you said, Fanny, is a good point. High quality Kai said, that's like us making laws on a man's vasectomy. So what's the difference between men trying to tell us how to procreate and we not being able to say how they procreate?
So
for instance, a lot of men don't want to have babies. So like my son, my brother keeps having all these babies that he's not paying child support for. He needs to get a vasectomy.
And that part's not okay. And that part's not okay. But so let me put this back on you. Let me mention this. So what if if I'm going to reverse this? Say the man does not want it, right? And the woman does. Right?
Okay.
So
well, you know what? It's just like, okay, so we have certain abilities as women. Like you cannot force as a man, right? I mean, you should have pulled out. Is what I'm saying. If you wanted you have a relevance. You know, at the end of the day, a man doesn't. Let me tell you something. Having a child is very, very painful. Having a child has a lot of financial responsibility. Okay,
no argument there.
I'm wearing a robe right now. Don't you think I would love to be wearing a Louis Vuitton freaking silk pajama? I don't wear it because my son I'm wearing a robe right now. Don't you think I would love to be wearing a Louis Vuitton freaking silk pajama? I don't wear it because my son is in freaking basketball right now and needs a new pair of Nikes. Okay?
Yes. So
all of our money goes to our kids. These kids are expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm aware of that. But there's certain times where, for instance, I had a friend of mine who he got a girl pregnant. He wanted the baby, she didn't. She had an abortion. That's if I think a man has some say if it's his kid. If it's his child, I think the man should have some say. Do you really want to have a baby with a woman that got an abortion?
Let's just say, I don't mean to cut you off, John, but do you really want to have a baby with a woman that didn't even see you valuable as a father?
Because they never are valuable.
I mean, this has nothing to do with him not being a father. She didn't want to be a mom, and he even offered, "Hey, I'll just take him."
That's horrible.
So he was like, "I'll take him," or I don't even think they knew what the sex was, but I do think in that situation that there's, if it obviously it takes 2 to tango. So I do think that a man has some rights if it's his.
Tell me time and time again, John, how men are out here excelling at fatherhood, please. I would love to know. Because
I'm excelling at fatherhood.
In your opinion, do your kids feel that way? Are you still with the mother?
Yeah, we live right here. We live in this fucking badass house. So the fact that you're questioning my fatherhood tells me that you are an opinionated little, I'm not going to say it, but you're not a good person. You're not a good person.
Okay, well, hey,
gaslighting.
Hey, listen, I don't want you to, okay, listen, you guys. Listen,
You want to
Fanny
say
is
I'm not a
very
good father?
okay. But hold on,
I
hold on.
actually just asked
Hold
you
on,
a
John.
question.
Can we do a timeout real quick? Let me just say
Yeah.
this. Can I just say this? I think you guys are both amazing. John, I never agree with you, but I do. I do think that you're a good father. That's why you have all those goddamn guns. But what I want to say is this: Fanny is a great person. She's actually part of systemic change. But I think you guys are just disagreeing. How can we have this conversation without being disrespectful? What I'm saying.
Yeah, because
So,
he was about to.
well, here's the thing: when
he was
you're,
about to call me a. He was about to call me a
Because
bitch. I know he was.
oh, he okay.
yeah, but I
Well,
didn't.
okay, but
But I
do
didn't.
but
But I
John, do
didn't.
you know something? You do have a masculinity in your tone.
You have a threatening energy,
So,
to be honest.
Which
well, so
you
here's
know what,
so
Fanny? Can I just say this, John? Because you have girls. I want you to understand this
yeah,
because you're a good communicator. We never have ever agreed on anything, but we've always had good conversations. But let me just
exactly.
say this: you do have for some reason, my friend Fanny, she's a little bit more aggressive than I am. But you tend to that masculinity, and this is what men do. They tend to talk a little louder. They tend to be a little bit more aggressive.
Dominates the conversation.
So
Why don't you
when
try
you
to pull back
so
on
there's
that
so
a little
but when
bit?
so and kind of back to the debate piece when you have femininity versus masculinity. So
Yeah,
there's obviously hold on there's obviously masculine energy and there's obviously feminine energy. Now there's men with feminine energy and there's women with masculine energy, right? So I'm sorry, what's her screen name? I can't see. My phone's a little dark. Um,
Fanny
so Fanny
or
and I
Tiffany.
Fanny. So when people share the same energy is when they will clash more.
Oh, you guys are too much alike.
And so and that's just like if you're in a relationship and your other half shares that same energy, you will
Yeah,
clash more. And it doesn't matter if it's two women, two guys, guy, woman. Those energies have to be different if you're really going to last and be very cohesive. And the energies can shift from time to time,
yeah,
but and so yeah, so when I mean obviously I kind of I pick up on this stuff quickly from all the studies that I've done, like because I've done a lot. But that's what when those energies come in, that part just kind of happens, and it's inherent in us, depending on which energies we have, if that makes sense.
right. Well, are you there, Tiff? Okay. oh, 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 oh! It kicked you off.
They cut her off.
Unfortunately,
But
yeah.
but I do think
Anyway,
that
yeah.
with
Come back, Tiffany.
Hey, good morning.
What's
Yeah,
up? Good
morning.
morning.
So I was gonna actually address that lady Fanny. Now, uh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So
she's gonna come back. She's been with me for about an hour
yeah.
now.
So I mean, we can't. I understand there are good, and then there are bad men. We can't always label bad men. Now, I'm a conservative in the sense that it's the way I've been brought up. You know what I mean? So I was brought in a way whereby brought in a way to, understand that, I was born by, I was born by a mother and a father, whereby I was raised by a mother and a father, whereby I was then go into the world and get married, right, and then have my own children. And I was brought up in a way to respect women, to appreciate women, and all this other stuff. So it's part of me being a conservative. Masculinity makes sense, right? So this is why I always support conservatism, because I feel like it makes sense, right? Now, how the world is going, it's like a societal thing whereby we're forced to be a certain way. Like men can say this, like men are toxic, men are this, men are that. Like I don't understand where that came from, and I don't
You
necessarily.
don't? It became from men being aggressive towards women.
Yeah, but the thing is, aggression is part of our nature. We're
What?
predators, right? But it's not always a bad thing.
So
Is the people going too far with it, right? I feel like there
I,
needs to be like what do you call it? A ground. You know what I mean? So when we talk about men and masculinity, there needs to be a level, like men need to be men, right? The idea that it's okay for a man to be so in touch with his emotions is weird. It doesn't make any sense.
I've noticed. Hold on. I disagree. I've noticed both of these men cannot seem to articulate a point very easily, and I'm sorry. That's unfortunate because that shows the level of emotional intelligence and our communication skills as women is far superior than men's. And I'm sorry. Where's the lie? Because both of you have been,
define emotional intelligence.
Both of you have been struggling to articulate any kind of argument that would actually.
Is it because we're not saying what you want to hear? Is that what it is?
No, it's not at all. Actually, I think that you and the last guy that was on here have a really big problem with listening to what women are truly saying.
Yeah.
I'm married to a woman and I have two daughters.
What does that mean?
Okay, exactly. What does that mean to you? You don't understand.
So listen, what I want to say is this, is that masculinity doesn't have to mean aggressive. Masculinity doesn't have to mean being a dickhead. Masculinity doesn't have to mean putting women down. Masculinity
who does that?
Mean that you have to set the standards for women.
But who does that though?
Doesn't mean that you have to tell us what to wear, how to
who
talk,
does?
how
But
to
who
speak,
does
how
that?
to be, how to think.
But who does
what
that?
I'm saying, Andrea, is that anytime that we're articulate or assertive, then we're crazy.
But what I'm saying is, who does that? What kind of man?
And most importantly, masculinity doesn't mean that you're right.
Okay, but who's doing that though? Who's what? So you're putting all these men in one basket.
What I'm telling you is this, because masculinity is so negative now, and you guys have derailed the true identity of what a man is. Now women have to now take role and be even more masculine to overcompensate your guys' freaking lack of inability to do fucking anything.
I think respectfully speaking, I think this is your experience. Right? I don't think you've dated all men.
Why wouldn't it be my experience?
Okay, because I don't think you've dated the right men to start. Right?
There are hardly any.
But how can we do that? That's so insulting.
But do you understand? Man shaming doesn't help the problem. You sitting there and man shaming.
It's called accountability, sir. Accountability, not shaming.
Accountability is not shaming. Let me just say this. My grandfather was very masculine because he listened. My grandfather was very masculine because he was kind to all the girls in the family.
Your grandfather sounds a lot like me.
He was a very good listener. That was masculine to me. When he grabbed his big arms and would hug me when I was crying, and I could feel his strength holding me up when I felt like I couldn't handle society.
Question.
You just got misled.
So here's my question. If you admire that kind of masculinity, why are you so worried about the other masculinity like this?
Because it affects us. Let me say
but why do you focus on such toxic energy? Why don't you?
You have a good question. I want to answer it, please.
Okay.
Because although, let's say I'm engaged, I am. He's not the only man in my life. I'm a realtor. I have to go out there and be in a dominant man business. I get cussed out on a day-to-day basis here on the East Coast. Freaking guy wants to freaking underprice my freaking listing and talk down to me. You know, there's men. I had a manager who was a man. We have managers. We have friends. We have men in society when we're driving. They see us. They think we're horrible drivers. The men in society do affect our life. You don't have to be our husbands to affect us. These leader roles in our lives still affect us. Okay, tell me how many of you women here, out of the 212 people that are here, have a husband but go to work every day to a manager who's a man who tells you what to do.
That part.
Not all men do that. Where are you getting this from?
Let me tell you this.
Not all men. Girl, get him out of here. He's a not all men type. Not all men. Yeah, just a fucking
Fanny, calm down. Jesus Christ.
Don't tell me.
Why are you such an angry lady? Why is she so angry?
He did her, Tiffany. Let me just say this.
Oh my God.
What he just did. Where did I get rid of my girl? Oh no.
No, she got off herself.
Tiffany, come back. Please come back. Let me tell you this. What you did is what white people do to black people all the time
Huh?
is that you put her into a anger role because she is a strong. Let
Oh
me tell you
my
something. Because she
God.
is. Let me finish. Because she's a strong, compassionate
Okay.
woman. You
Okay. Let me
label
say
her
something.
angry.
Let me say something. Okay. Do you know the problem with our black community? Okay, I'm gonna
You.
address something. Oh yes, okay, okay, I got it. It's me. You see what I mean? We play. You see what your friend Fanny did there? She literally played that victim mentality, right? Whereby
Okay,
she
no,
feels
no, no,
like,
no, 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 no.
Can I
That's a no,
finish?
no.
Oh my God,
You
can I
don't do
finish?
victim mentality. I don't tolerate it here. Pick another word.
Oh, okay. She literally cannot understand. She cannot stand the fact that somebody else is trying to prove something to her, right? Whereby all her narrative, like everything I say, is like it goes against her narrative. So she doesn't want to listen. So she gets
Yeah, but
angry,
the
and
fact
then
that
she
you
gets
were
triggered.
to her?
She
Does that
literally got
negate the
triggered.
fact that you were, sir? Does that negate the fact that you were completely rude to my friend?
How was that rude?
You were very rude.
What did I say that was rude?
Well, one, you boxed her
I
into a
said not all
mentality.
men are
She
the
is a
same.
survivor. Then you called
Woman,
her angry. Then
woman.
you were basically saying, listen, just because you think you're right doesn't mean you are, and just because you think you said she's wrong doesn't mean
I'm
that
sorry
she
the
isn't.
fact that I didn't downplay things to suit her narrative. I'm sorry that I was honest.
You
I'm being
don't have
blunt.
to. Listen, I'm not. This isn't a safe space. Okay, I don't care about this. What I care
Right.
about is us
She
being
got triggered.
respectful. Listen, I care about us being respectful to each other,
I
and
was
that's
very
what I want to talk
respectful.
about.
Do you understand that your friend was
Masculinity,
cussing? Did you
masculinity.
understand that?
Yeah, I do understand that.
Okay,
I do.
that's disrespectful.
I do understand that. But what I can say is this: I feel, because I feel like we're very similar, is the mere fact that she felt the need to be aggressive because you kept over talking her.
No, she did that to me. You gotta
So
understand
who's the
something.
victim
Respect,
now?
respect goes back. Respect goes.
I'm bringing my girl back. Sorry. Shantisha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Just
Good
jump in
morning.
if you can. What are
But
your thoughts?
my thought is that we are pushing a very dangerous narrative where men cannot be masculine and be men. I don't think that we should group all men together. I grew up around masculine men. My daddy was a Jamaican, and there is nothing to me that is toxic about masculinity. I think that toxic traits exist in both feminine and masculine people. I think that we as women should allow men to have their safe space, right? And allow them to communicate, because communication does not mean femininity, right? And if men open up, we call them bitches, we call them punks when they do open up to us. And we boxing in men
And
in
that's not
one
right.
collective.
We
I
shouldn't do
think that
that.
is dangerous.
I'll let
I
Fanny.
think that it's dangerous to box men into one collective.
Yeah,
I
but
don't see.
listen, when we're talking about men in general, we're talking about a generalization,
A
okay?
majority,
So
and if a majority.
majority, right?
But the majority, I don't think that American men and Jamaican men are the same men. I don't think American
Because
men
that's
and African
culture.
men are the
That's
same.
Because
culture.
culture
Okay,
has a
so
lot to do with it. So what you just said right now, you said Jamaican men are masculine, but they use their masculinity to benefit women. That's beautiful. But I'm an African American black woman, and I'm telling
I'm
you
an African
that black
American
men
black
that are
woman, so I
masculine,
was born
my dead
here.
brothers and cousins abuse their masculinity, and they're very aggressive and very physically abusive.
And threatening and
But
dangerous.
what I'm saying is, your brothers aren't all men, and I think it's dangerous if
Well,
we
what about
we
all
just
the other ones I met in my 36 years of living? Doesn't
but
my
all
experience count?
men. Why is it that you just encounter all these toxic men? Sometimes what the people
I
that
don't
we
know. That's
encounter
just what
and we
I've been
feel in our
because
around.
circle
Most
life.
hold on,
women.
let me chime in. Because most men do not have the emotional
You
capacity
tell
or
me.
intelligence to communicate, to not be
And
threatening,
whose
to
fault is
not be
that?
toxic. Because let me finish.
It's
Because
us.
they've been
It's us as
raised by
women.
other toxic men, and they've seen
No,
toxic
most men are raised by women, and the women, if we're going to blame men for how
You're
they
gonna blame
are,
women for
given
everything.
that
Oh,
they're raised,
that's what you're doing?
this I'm a black woman, ma'am. With all due respect, I do not want you to use anything that is black as a trump card. I'm black. The host is black. You're a Caucasian woman.
Okay.
Please.
Who gives a shit what she is?
Well,
Who
I
gives
don't.
a
I
crap
don't
what
want her
I
to.
am?
I
Who
don't
cares
want
if
her
I'm
to
black
say.
or you're black or she's
Why
white?
are
Does
we
that negate the
arguing?
fact that men freaking? Does that negate the fact that in this country country, I don't know where you are, but here in America,
I'm in America. I was born here.
Hold on. No. Was that negate? Because you brought up the race card, and I don't like that. We're not going to be prejudiced
So
here
why
on my
did
show.
she bring up
Does
black
that
and
negate the
saying
fact?
blaming
Hold on.
black women?
I didn't.
She brought up
Negate
the
the
race
fact.
card.
Hold on. Does that negate the fact that women in this country, black and white, had to fight for our basic rights to vote? Does that mean that we have to fight for jobs equal pay?
We still aren't paid the same.
I thought we were speaking about masculinity and femininity. I didn't know that we were speaking about
You brought up the race thing.
I swear to God, somebody on TikTok is taking off my gift. Listen, I'm the host, okay? And I just want to say this, that I don't play the prejudice card. But we're not going to do that. Tiffany's my girl. I stick up for my friends. Sorry. And listen, you can disagree with us, but
she's saying that she didn't bring up the race card, and that is a lie because she said, "Oh, blame black women" when I made my point. So she brought up race.
No, I said blame women. I said blame women. That's what we're doing. I said blame women.
I'm recording this and I'm going to post where you said blame black women. Oh, here we go, blame black women. That's what you said.
No,
anyway,
no,
I'm going to.
She did not say that, love.
I'm getting off this race
I
argument.
love you, but you gotta go.
Hey.
Sorry.
Kendra,
You're my home. You're my girl. You're my bestie. I don't care. Not gonna do that.
Let's get Stickies back.
Yeah, I know. But this is what I want you to see. This is usually how my TikToks go.
So this is something normal for you that you deal with?
Yeah. This is normal. Tell her. I didn't get to 100K by being, fluffy.
Girl, I like.
Welcome. What's going on, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
I listen.
We're having fun. Stop.
I listened for a long time in the background. It seems like so many people confuse and twist masculinity with aggression and dominance.
And misogyny. Yeah.
They're not the same.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I honestly hate the word toxic masculinity to the point where I say it doesn't exist. Only because people confuse actions as masculinity. A negative action as masculinity. On top of that, I'm also confused because so many women are frustrated, and I understand that. But we are currently, right now, living in era with the least masculine men ever.
I can agree with that.
And why?
Ever.
And that's negative. Why?
Yeah.
Because masculinity is not a negative trait.
Right, but there are negative traits of masculinity.
Yeah.
No.
What?
No.
How?
Masculinity.
I think we just went insecure on a few minutes ago with this guy.
That's like saying there are negative traits within femininity. No. There are it's like she said, there are negative traits in people in the group. There are negative behaviors.
Not the topic, though. We're not talking about bad people. We're talking about femininity and what does that mean, and masculinity, like the roles that we play in our society.
I get it.
How it negatively or positively affects us.
Okay, but
why isn't being masculine such a good thing in politics? If you're masculine, you're this big hoo-ha guy. You're threatening. Then all of a sudden you're being ridiculed by the world because you demand equal pay.
That's what I'm saying. And I noticed a lot of the comments here too, that just because we're having a heated discussion, like it's like negative. We're trying to invoke change. We're trying to get men to understand our perspectives. And sometimes women have to scream 10 times as louder because you don't listen. You don't hear us.
Yeah, I'm not really a
women
screamer.
feel the need to yell.
I don't relate with that because I'm not really a screamer. But
okay, but no one's screaming. A woman being assertive and direct is not screaming.
Femininity.
Like,
it says,
am I supposed to be mousy and quiet and talk like this to please everybody? Like, no, I'm not gonna. Why? Y'all men get
hold on. You said, are you supposed to be mousy and quiet appease somebody? The answer is sometimes yes.
What? When do you do that? Do you police your children?
I do it. See me, I have a big voice, but I'm not a yeller. I don't argue
no one's yelling. We're
voice.
speaking.
No. I'm not saying you are. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
I'm a man that doesn't yell. I get that from my grandfather and my father. They were masculine men, but I have never seen my dad yell at my mama. I've never seen it. I've never seen.
It's masculine. See,
that's what masculinity is. That's what
I have no damn clue anymore.
And masculinity and femininity, they complement each other.
Okay.
By design. That's why it's weird for me to see femininity versus masculinity. Is it femininity or because the qualities in the woman are complemented by the man. The qualities in the man are complemented by the woman. That is how men and women are equal. A man does not need.
We're not
check
equal.
it out. Check it out. A man does not. We don't need you to do everything we can do. We need you to do everything that we can't do.
Yeah, but can't y'all pay the bills without
us? Say it again.
Let me tell you something. The feminine roles that women had in the, like, let's say, predating us back to the 1960s was what? To be in the kitchen, to take care of the kids, to make sure the man's clothes are folded.
That's not femininity, though.
Was to be a community service person, be of service, maybe even to be a person who is a caretaker or nurturing or something like that. That to me is femininity. To look very woman-like, to have your hair done nicely, to be more appealing to the eye to men. I feel that being a feminist is so catered to what men want from us as opposed to what we want for us, if that makes sense. Like, femininity,
right? But that's not femininity, though.
Oh my gosh!
Check. Hold on. Keeping your hair nice is not feminine. Keeping a straight house is not feminine. Being able to cook for your kids is not a feminine thing. That's not femininity.
So what is it? What is femininity? Being soft-spoken to you? Because that's what you said.
No.
You said it's being soft-spoken. You don't.
No, I'm soft-spoken.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I'm soft-spoken. I'm not feminine. But see, as an example.
Sexy.
No.
Then how come in the videos when a girl's being feminine, she's in these like real like ditzy roles? Like look at Marilyn Monroe. She's like,
that's not femininity.
And she was like, oh really? I want to love a man. And all of these like gestures that are so like dance. Because that's what men want. Let's just admit it.
Isn't that just sex appeal though?
Play the dumb role.
Yeah, that's just sexually appealing to some men. That's all.
I think we're misunderstanding femininity. What's considered feminine versus feminism.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
They do get construed. Okay. Well.
So feminism.
We're about to get back to sticky in a little bit, and then it's fun. Listen, if we don't know, we're gonna know after this. I can tell you that.
Oh no, I agree with you. As you know, we usually agree with each other. I wanted to ask him because when you asked him what is I can't even say the word right now. Y'all.
Femininity.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, anyways, he didn't answer the question at all. He just kept saying no to all your examples.
But
it makes me wonder.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, babe. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It made me wonder, like, does he understand what it is? Does he understand what masculinity is? And also, toxic masculinity can affect your children, by the way, because usually when it comes to Black household, when boy cries, you tell him to stop crying, be a man and man up. that's very common, especially in the Black household. So that's the example of toxic masculinity, whether you want to recognize it as not, because you're just saying that he should not show his emotions and hide it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, you can go.
We just have generations of here's where I get, and I can get
cut
calm.
him out because I want to hear everybody's perspective, and I've been here for like 2 hours with Tiffany. I don't know if you guys realize this. Like, this is a full-time job here, so I'm trying to give everybody the opportunity to speak. But then he can circle back. He can come back on.
Yeah, I just was gonna say, like, I get real tired of listening to men define what femininity is or what feminism is when we live in a patriarchal structure in our society, which is that men rule everything and lead everything. I have a real hard time because generations of men have proven time and time again to not have emotional intelligence, to not be equipped with how to express emotions, whether that's due to being toxic upbringings. And because, yes, society has told them that they can't express their feelings, it doesn't mean they still don't have to acknowledge that they benefit from most things in our society, which is being male, right? And I get really tired of men constantly yelling in my ear. And he was yelling too. He was like, he was raising his voice. You just heard him. He was like, I don't raise my voice. I'm like, you are right now. But like, I just get really tired.
In his own right.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea that he thought he was right off the bat, off the gate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
and you can just see it how toxic people are, because you see it in the comments right here. The women are defending. Women should be. I'm not saying women. This goes without saying, ladies. No one is saying that women don't do things wrong or make mistakes, okay? But when I come on, well, hi Sticky, he's back.
How you doing?
What we're saying is, don't diminish my experience and what I've went through with men. Don't diminish the experiences that I've had, and stop being a pick me response woman by always wanting to uplift men and not defend women.
Listen, I want to come on here because I watched all this play out. First of all, I want to commend you two ladies on your ability to stay composed and have a conversation about that with all these people.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to use my toxic masculinity to basically just tell these dudes to stop with their bullshit. So let me tell you something, right? Y'all want to talk about being a real man. Aren't you accountable for your shit? If you're a man, you know what I mean? Aren't you going to own up to your shit? Listen, this dude, white coat conservative, wanted to come on here and blame oh, well, it's just the type of men that you guys are dating. That's why you have this opinion about men. Listen, man.
With us, yeah.
Nobody's that stupid. So many women talk about the same stories that Andrea and Tiffany were telling me about. We hear it time and time again.
Yeah.
But you think you're slick by saying oh, it's probably just their experience? You think you're slick saying that?
Yeah.
You ain't slick, motherfucker. This is a systemic issue. We have statistics to talk about this shit. You know what I mean? You're putting down these women's experiences because you believe. Call me a pick me all you want. I don't give a shit about you.
Or he's calling you a simp. This guy's calling you a simp.
Man, call me a simp all you want. I don't give a fuck about
because he defends women.
To me, yeah, that's ridiculous. Okay,
ridiculous.
He's a surreal man. This is real masculinity. You don't know what it is. You gotta
pat me, bro. I'm about to throw up a small dick symbol because that's ridiculous. You're attacking a man for defending women. If you want to be a real ally to women, listen to this man and listen to us first. Listen to us and then listen to him.
Put me on with him. White coat conservative wants me to go on with him. I'll do it.
I'll get off here if you want to go on with him.
Yeah. What's going on? How you doing, my friend?
Hey there, Sticky or Sticks. Now, I gotta give you a little background, okay? So growing up, right, my uncles, they still do it. My uncles used to beat on my aunts, right? And also my father, when my mother got pregnant, he left her while she was in school to go marry 2 other women, okay? And he's not even a Muslim. So for you to sit there and not know who I am and judge me is number one wrong, okay? You have no idea.
Where was I judging you?
No, you did.
I just talked about the way that you talked about what you were saying in that conversation. I don't give a fuck about who you are.
Okay, great. But what I'm saying is you don't know me for you to try to judge based on what
I'm
said
not
you
judging
have.
anything about you. I
You
could give less
did.
of a shit about you. I
But
don't
did
like the
you?
way that like you talked about her experiences as if it was based on like just her telling an anecdote about her life when so many women she had same experience. I didn't say one thing about you as a person, so don't put words in my mouth.
How many women like Fanny do you know?
Yeah, no, wait,
Quite
wait,
a
wait,
bit,
hold on.
dude.
Can you just like sink that in
It's a
though?
question.
Hey, hold on, time out.
All right.
Did you hear what he said though?
What did he
What
say?
he said was so profound.
What are you talking about? Who do you?
So
Who are you?
didn't even
Who are you?
hear.
Who are you addressing?
This is what Tiffany is saying is that you're so quick to, and it's not just you. It's a lot of people in
When
debate.
somebody
You're so
brings,
quick to have an answer that you didn't even ascertain what he said.
no. He. This is
The
what he
only
said.
person making
You
assumptions about
disregarded.
people in that conversation was you, homie, because you're assuming that all of her perceptions are about like, you know, the men that she's had in her life when like you're ignoring the fact that like there's statistics to prove about like women being abused in relationships, all this other stuff. Like the statistics
I
will
know
show
that.
you that there's a problem with it.
I know women are abused. I know that. This is the reason why I came back on to let you know that I've had that experience. So I do know women have been abused. But guess what? You can't take that and then put all men, then just say, oh yeah, well that's all men. This is what you know what I mean? I know women that have not been abused. I know great men that have taken care of women, right? We're talking about raising proper men here.
Let me say this. I'm the host. Let me say this. When people come on here and they say all people, no. We're not talking about every single person being, every single man in this freaking universe is a freaking toxic masculinity role. But what I'm saying is that doesn't negate the fact that there's a large portion, a majority that are perpetuating this ideology of misogynistic masculinity that's very toxic, not only to society, but it's hurting women in so many ways.
Don't call me homie, please. Don't call me homie. Let's be respectful. So respectfully, I require you to not call me homie, or I'm requesting that you don't call me homie because I'm not your homie.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
All right, that's fine. You ain't my boy neither. Dude.
It's kind of like you calling me. It's kind of like you call me.
So let's get into what you're saying.
Let's listen. Let's not devalue each other's time here. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get into it. All right.
So why can I ask you this, white coat, whatever the rest of your name is? Why can't you acknowledge our experience the way Sticky's talks has?
Because what I'm trying to say is we're trying to raise an awareness here. We're trying to raise an awareness of toxic masculinity. But you cannot keep doing this you cannot keep putting down men. What you're doing is literally putting down men, right? Just because you have.
Why are you saying they're putting down men? They're putting down the type of men that engage in this behavior. And she's made that very clear. Yeah. She's made that point very clear that it is not all men, but that's something that you should imply. The only reason you're bringing up these men right now, to me, screams that you don't want to have this conversation. And forgive me if that's an assumption, but otherwise, I don't really see how me as a man has felt attacked here this whole time. You saw them listening to me, platforming me, letting me talk about my side of things. They're not attacking all men. It's clear they're not attacking all men.
Here's the thing. Here's what
you want to put down what they're saying because you don't like what they're saying.
They're not going to attack you because you're an ally. Hello.
An ally. So
why aren't you an ally?
Wait, hold on.
Why aren't you an ally to women?
An ally, and guess who isn't? You.
Listen. Okay, so the host, right? You said something before about your grandfather, right? He's to me. After what you said, your grandfather was a great man. That's the kind of man that I am. That's the kind of man that I envision my future kids.
So why not promote that?
That is what, because we have to look at things from all sides. You cannot always sit here and propagate something just because it doesn't suit your narrative, right? You're sitting here talking about.
Nobody's doing that.
Hold on.
Nobody's doing that. Nobody's denying that.
I've never done that. Because I definitely have allowed you to have your.
No. Remember what you said? Oh, women are supposed to be this, and women are supposed to be that, as if it's like a bad thing. Like a woman. Like for example, if I come home and my wife cooks, that to you is a bad thing, right?
No. Why did you assume that?
It's because of your past comments. Right, the way
you're making straw mans left and right. Straw man in her opinion.
Hold on.
Let the host and I talk,
let me just
please.
say this: my man is a better cook than I am. We prefer him cook because nobody wants to eat my stuff. Okay, so that's not true, and I love that. That's why
I'm with him. It's because he does take on these feminine roles. Like he cleans, he cooks, he takes care of the kids if I'm showing houses. So he takes feminine roles, and it's a beautiful thing to me.
Okay, so I have a question for you then. So do you understand, do you support that men and women naturalistically, do you understand that we're different? Like,
yes, I do.
Okay, so do you understand and support the fact that let's just conservatively speaking, let's just say if a man goes out into the woods, goes to some farms and brings crops, bring it for the woman, and the woman cooks. Do you support that? Do you understand that?
I support whatever works for a couple, if that makes sense. But what I
So
don't support is in society these roles that people say either you have to play or you're shunned out.
okay, so what I'm just trying to understand exactly where you're coming from. So I'm thinking you're saying masculinity is toxic and abuse,
What I'm telling you is this is that masculinity to me has been derailed by the competition with men trying to fight to be alpha males.
But what is wrong with that though?
So let me just finish. So masculinity in predated times, let's say the first civilization, masculinity was men hunting, men going out there and like Native Americans, the feathers that they wear on their head were warrior feathers. So that was a masculine thing to have, was a headdress with tons of feathers. That was masculinity because it showed you protected the women. It showed you went and hunted for food, so you fed the women. That to me is true masculinity. Doesn't mean that they didn't have softer roles, but when they did those things, it was masculine. He was strong. He could fight for his village or something like that. Now in society, masculinity is talking over women. And it's gotten really toxic along the way. Not all men are like this, but it's very much affected women so much that I think more women are going to become more gender fluid because we just get sick and tired of these men completely trying to tell us the standards of which we have to be in society. I remember, for instance, when I was younger, having small lips was a thing. Now, and young boys would call me dick sucking lips. They used to call me DSLs and make fun of me. And now it's like a trend because now men like the lips, so they keep setting the standards, and it's really toxic.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't. It's fair to say I really don't know where you're coming from with that because I've been raised differently. So I support I support masculinity. I don't support it in the like I said. I don't. The reason why I am who I am today is because of my past experiences with which is just bad shit, crazy, right? I come from Africa. I was born in Ghana, and my aunt used to get beaten all the time. So the way I am, I never hit a woman. If I take a woman out, when I took a woman out back in the day, I pay for dinner. You know what I mean? Like I support women, I just want a woman to be a woman and allow me to be a man.
But you have not. Listen, you said that, and I respect that you're from Ghana. That's amazing to me. But listen, you say that you support women, but here there was two women that you could have supported and you didn't.
The reason that you're not hearing what the host is saying, the reason you're not like you're like I don't see that because I was raised differently is exactly that, dude. You're not experiencing it. That's fine. Like so many women come forward about this whole thing. Were you paying attention to Me Too? Were you paying attention to the fact that like 98% of women are going to get sexually harassed in a lifetime? Like this is like a reality for a lot of women. You saying like
I just told you that I experienced it.
I don't experience it. That's fine.
I literally just told you I experienced it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're not acknowledging our experience as women.
Oh my God. I just told you that I had that experience.
I don't know whitecoat.c.
Well, that's my fake account.
Okay, so let me say this. Why not be masculine by listening to our experience and being able to accept the feedback? I have not had a good experience in this
because my masculinity meter.
Masculine men were very much toxic in my life. I was a product of abuse because of masculinity. The first time a man told me to shut up, that was in a masculine way. It's not like they're like, shh. Have you ever had a girl go like this to you? Shh. That to me is a freaking trigger. If a girl goes, shh. But if a man goes, shut up, in a masculine way, why can't he say, can you be quiet? It's not offensive. When he uses masculinity to be in control, that's what's toxic. So I just think that instead of bashing our experience, why don't you express how being masculine has been positive for you in yours?
That's why I'm here. That's
You
exactly
don't
why I'm
have
here.
to. And listen, I heard everything that you said. You don't have to derail our testimonies to push yours forward. To be honest, they're probably both true.
The problem that I had with Fanny was the fact that she was cursing at me. When you first disrespect me, I'm not gonna respect you back, right? When you automatically assert that disrespect.
Like she had to do that.
No, yeah, but that's the thing. You got to understand. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you get to automatically just start dishing out disrespect and then expect me.
So,
it's kind of like a man. It's kind of like a woman smacking a man and then doesn't expect the man to smack her back.
Okay. Yeah, but let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I'm triggered when men are aggressive with me because I was abused by my stepfather. Every day I got beat with a leather belt called Mr. Black. And I used to have whelps. I used to count them and I used to poke them all over my legs. I used to wear Jinko pants, and he used to be, this is my experience. Don't denounce my experience. But so, when men are aggressive with me, even if you say my name with a deep voice, I kind of cringe, know? So you have to understand her experience could be triggered by you talking over her. Imagine how many men hurt us when they're telling us that they don't believe us. And it's so sad to me.
And also I can relate to that experience, right? Yeah. I have an aunt, right? I have an aunt. She comes home from work every day at 4 p.m., right? She takes my cousin, my female cousin, into the room, right? She has 3 kids, but she takes the oldest one, she takes her into her room and she beats her for an hour, right? So what you're saying, I can understand. You said a man did that to you, but I want you to understand that women do that as well.
Well, we know that.
Right.
Listen,
you're right.
White Coat, I
You
respect your sentiment of wanting to come on here and talk about how masculinity doesn't have to be toxic, right? Because that's what you're saying. The reason why we're a little skeptical of that and why there's an argument here is because the times where you've been bringing it up is when the conversations around men who are toxic in a lot of ways. And when you do that, it can kind of seem like it's invalidating. Let me give you an example, right? If I was telling you about how I broke my leg and it got infected, you know what I mean? After I fell off of some building doing construction, right? You're not going to respond to someone by going well, I fell off a building and I was fine. That invalidates what they're saying to you. You know what I mean? It kind of makes it feel like you're not listening, hearing what they're saying. So that's why I think people are a little skeptical, and why I'm a little skeptical is because the only times you seem to be bringing up these examples about yourself and about what you think masculinity should look like is in response to them talking about what a lot of masculinity is for them. You know what I mean? When you're bringing it up in a response to that, that looks like you're trying to invalidate it, which is kind of what I'm thinking is going on. You can convince me otherwise.
I'm just saying, bottom line is feminine. I'm just saying, there's an extreme to everything, right? That's why I want people to focus here. Don't just focus on masculinity. Focus on the extreme of masculinity. That should be the debate. That should be the debate of the argument. Is the extremes. This is what we need to cut. Extreme in any argument is bad. Right? Extremely heavy. So don't sit there and tell me that masculinity is such a bad thing when also femininity can also be equally bad.
Okay, true story. But where and when in society is it acceptable to be a feminist?
Why do we gotta only bring up the toxic side of femininity whenever we're trying to have a conversation about the toxic side of masculinity?
Because it's necessary. It's necessary to bring up both sides.
Why do we have to bring that side of the argument up when we're talking about one issue? Why? The only reason I feel like you want to bring that side of the argument up is to downplay the other side of it. You know what I mean?
That's your opinion. That is your opinion. I
is
like the
my
peace.
opinion, but you're
When we
not
have
you're
when
not
you're having
showing
a
anything
when you're
to
having a
contradict
debate,
it, dude.
you got to put everything into it. You got to bring everything.
Yeah, I
You got to
agree.
look at
Listen,
things
I
from
like
all
your
sides.
perspective. I don't think that you're wrong, White Cloak. But I think that if you were listening to what Sticky said, you know, he was just basically, you know, we need men to be masculine and stick up for us. Can I say that? We need that.
You know,
Yeah.
I support. Yeah,
That's
but
very masculine of him.
Mhm.
So when women are being nurturing, they can be feminine when they do that. When men are sticking up for women, that could be a very masculine role to say, I'm a man and I'm going to I'm protecting these women. That's a masculine trait to protect women.
Here's the thing,
so
right?
When you are not, what are you doing?
Here's the thing, right? Is like, White Cole, let me put it this way, right? Like, let's say you see like a house that's burning. Like, there's two houses.
I'm sorry. White Coat can come back. He's been on and off. I just want to let these few other people talk, and then I gotta go.
Yeah. The thing is, we can look at, like, let's say there's a house on fire.
Oh, Sticky, where'd you go? Oh,
people get into it with All Lives Matter.
Yeah.
There's a house on fire. You know, we can talk about like fire safety for all houses is important, guys. You know, we can talk about how like we should make sure that every house is not on fire. But there's a house on fire right now. We're going to put out that fire. There's another fire. We'll talk about that one when that arises. But when you're bringing up like all the houses being on fire, you're not solving the house being on fire.
Right.
That's the issue I'm having.
And that's with every debate, to be honest. But hi, Diane. Diane, you there? Dion?
Hello?
Yes. Oh, hello.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Sorry about that. I was just hooking up some equipment. I've been listening to the broadcast, and I appreciate Six. Am I saying it right? Six. Is that
yeah.
Okay?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. I love what you have to say from the male perspective on that masculine toxicity, and like I said, for me personally, like I said, I've had a negative experience with men, but I've also had positive experience with men, and I understand what Andrea is saying. She's not saying all men. She's just saying the ones that represent that level of toxicity that is detrimental to women.
Yeah.
So
she's very clear with her words.
I get that.
You know,
it really very clear with her words.
I mean, on so many levels. I can even say this: every decision that I made as a woman was dictated off of the toxic activism that was around me my whole life. So I mean, it happened to do with the jobs that I picked, or the men that I picked, or the friends that I had. I am a dominant person. I'm a fire sign. So if there's somebody trying to be always dominating over me, I won't even be friends with you. Because what's the point? I'm not going to do competition with you.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, like I said, I had my grandfather, like I said, he was an inspiration in my life as far as how he was with his wife, my grandmother, and his children. And so he worked. My grandmother stayed home, but he did work. And so she raised 7 children. So in the whole process of that, there was still a level of balance in there because there was a level of respect, understanding, and of what role they played in the life of their lives together, plus the lives of their children. So
I'm sorry, sis. Nubian Prince Bergie 41 said, "I promise you, these are the types of women that will leave Sticky because he's boring. He's actually not boring at all."
Where are these types of women, man? I haven't seen it.
Are they for real?
I haven't seen it.
You know what? That's
I haven't seen it. I want to know.
You know what? Why? Because you are an ally to us as far as to women. I mean, to me, somebody got to advocate. You know what I mean?
You promised me.
When we switch the roles of masculinity, when we say, well, not the roles, but when we switch the narrative that masculinity means aggressive, when we say that masculinity is Sticky being an ally for women, all of a sudden,
why's all the comments when I'm like speaking up for women? that like
Right.
I'm not gonna get laid. That's like the only thing they can pull is that he's a simp or that he's not gonna get laid.
You probably get all the lays because
But
Homie,
I'm gonna
homie.
say, I'm gonna say this though. But with the reason why those men getting all bent out of shape and stuff about it is because it's hitting them right there where it hurt. Because they all represent that negative, that
Right.
masculinity. Anytime somebody gets all bent out of shape and all worked up over it, it's because they represent that. They have that. They embody that.
Yep.
So that's why old dude acted the way that he acted.
She
Right.
got
Cause
4 you lined up, Sticky.
he knew what he was. He knew who he
Nubian, what?
was.
Are you projecting here? Because my girl's loyal. My girl's
And let me
loyal
just say
as
this.
shit.
Yeah, they want to attack you. Listen to this. And this is the masculinity that is toxic. Is the fact that men that feel like they're I mean, this is we're on the internet here. And just because you see the respect that he's getting from women, now it's a competition.
Right.
Of regaining. That's insecurity on somebody. Nubian Prince.
Yes, it is.
Insecure because you wouldn't have the audacity to say half the things that Sticky has said. So
Here's the
because
thing, y'all want to talk about like simping, someone
some
idolizing mediocre punani? Why don't you get yourself some punani and then join that conversation? If y'all want to talk shit, why don't you get yourself some pussy to idolize, and then you can join that conversation?
I got time for one more. Sticky, I hope you stick around for one more.
Yeah, I'll be here.
And we got to start the day, y'all.
They got you where they want. What they gonna do, white coat? What are they gonna do?
You have the floor, buddy.
Okay. I really don't think there's a set definition of what femininity and masculinity is. I think it's just traits that are associated with those two things. However, I did have a problem with I don't know if her name was Tiffany. She was saying that men and women are not equal. I feel like we are equal. We all have the same opportunities. I think that some women and just like some men, like there's some people in the Black community, we think that we don't have that equal opportunity because we usually see white people or men in certain roles, but I think both genders can have those roles. The richest person I know in the world, the most powerful girl that I know personally is she's a girl. Like, I don't understand why people think that men and women are not equal.
We're not talking about an individual. We're talking about the entirety of
the entirety.
So this is what a lot of people do when they get wrong with racism systemically. Like, just because I'm not dealing with systemic racism because I work for myself, wake up, doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of people hurting from a system that wasn't meant for women to be successful or for Black people to be successful. The system has not changed.
The system did change because women and men both can be successful.
Then why is there a
women
gap?
And men, we both have the same opportunities.
To an extent, there's still some stopgaps, though, my friend.
Why are there gaps within equal pay? Why are there gaps with employment? You know what I'm saying? There's so many men. There's never been a woman president in the United States of America. Why?
Because most people just don't feel that the women that were running for president were equipped enough to be president. It's as simple as that.
Wait, who sets the standards? Men do?
The voters, the men and women that vote.
Listen, that's a little bit disingenuous if we're thinking about the history of this stuff.
I guarantee you there are more men in this country than women. I guarantee you.
Quite possibly.
I guarantee you, because there's no way on God's green earth that women wouldn't have voted for a woman president by now.
Yeah.
Did you vote for Hillary?
Hell yeah.
Okay, but you're a woman, so you're probably going to vote for someone that you can relate to. You're going to want to vote for a woman.
Yeah, I sure would, because at least maybe she would at least let us.
But I think that it's about
period.
Equal.
Like, I don't think we should be working when we're on our period, is what I'm saying. There's some things like we should have the option to go to work during the 7 days that we're freaking going through hell. You know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't.
I guess
there are things that women go through that men will never understand, and that's why it's femininity versus masculinity. Because I can never tell you how.
Yeah, but like back to the thing about men being paid more than women.
Let me just make this point. I'll let you make your point. How dare I, as a woman, tell you how to be a man if I would never know what that's like? Same thing as for other races when they try to talk about what Black people need. How could you even tell us what it's like to be Black in this country? I mean, you can
think about it, Sticky. I'm thinking about it.
You can definitely understand.
I can understand your experience. I can't tell you what it's like
to be a Black woman too in this country. It's just like you'll never know.
Yeah, but back to the thing about unequal pay. Men and women usually we do get paid the same amount, but it's men work typically more hours than women, so of course we're gonna have bigger salaries and things like that. Like it's just the statistics that you guys are looking. Like when you look at the statistics of male nurses versus female nurses, we actually get paid the same amount, but it's just that male nurses tend to work more hours than female nurses. So of course,
Come on, man.
of course, it's going to say that we have a higher salary, and that's true.
But the thing is,
If you wanted to look statistically, let's see how many hours men work compared to women.
Nurses, that's a woman job, by the way.
I mean, I guess I'm a woman because I am in school for nursing, but
that's
okay.
And
that needs to change though too. That's dope that you're going to school for nursing.
and I don't think that it's just set in stone. I think that's just I guess I have a nurturing trait, a feminine trait.
That's good.
But
That's
that doesn't make me any less masculine.
No, and I think that people are getting confused. There are things that I'm attracted to.
You work longer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that most men typically work more hours than women.
What are you talking about? Most women are raising kids and running a household plus a whole full-time job.
Okay, cool. And that's very understandable. So it makes sense that men tend to make more money than women.
What?
Because men are usually working more than women.
I just said to you that doesn't make sense because we literally are working 2 full-time jobs. You're just working 1.
You're working a job you're working half of a job that doesn't pay and half of a job that does pay.
Do you have kids?
No, I do not have kids.
Okay, so you don't understand the struggle and the burden of what it is to run a household and raise a child.
But we're talking about jobs that have salaries. We're not talking about taking care of kids. Taking care of kids doesn't pay.
Exactly, as it should.
So stay on topic.
As it should. Don't tell me to stay on topic because you don't like what I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question though? What can you say positive about being about femininity? Please, I need that.
Women are nurturing. Women are strong, and I don't like the fact that first of all, I just don't think that any of these traits are set in stone for femininity and or masculinity. It's just that the traits that people associate with being feminine and masculine.
Yeah, I think that we can be both feminine and masculine.
Somebody said taking care of
women
kids
tend to be more intuitive.
Somebody said taking care of kids is not a job. I got 3. It is a job to take care of kids.
I mean, I guess it is a job.
We just don't get paid for it.
Yeah, no one gets paid for taking care of their kids.
You know how much other people charge you to take care of your kids?
Yeah, I'm not paying $500 a month, but
come on, and you gonna say it's not a job? Yeah, it takes half your paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah, but men take care of kids too. It's not just only a woman thing. So listen, I respect you guys are just saying I take care of kids. Men take care of their children as well.
Okay, but it's more so a feminine role though to take care of the kids.
I think that you guys are just seeing it as a feminine role. I think men that take care of their kids is very masculine. I think it's very masculine that a man takes care of their kids. They work, they provide for their kids, they take their kids to school, they cook for their kids. I think that's very masculine. I don't think taking care of your kids is just a feminine trait.
So
loving your family, I don't think that is neither feminine or masculine. But I'm sorry, I'll let you finish.
I agree with you, but what I don't agree with you is the mere fact that you think that men work longer.
Men tend to work more hours than women. That's true. That's a fact. Well, I don't.
All right, where's your stats?
Say that men work more than women.
Close this out because I have to go. So please close this out. And let me know what your conclusions are. Hold on. My conclusion is this. I do like what that one guy quotes. What he said is that there needs to be balance. No, was it the guy from Ghana? He did say that there needs to be balance, and I think that is the secret to us coexisting. What is your guys' conclusion on this topic until I come back tonight?
I don't even know if there will ever be a conclusion because we have people that are on 2 totally different sides of the spectrum. Like when you say, when you say femininity and masculinity, I think that people just think of the toxic ends of the spectrum of masculinity and the toxic ends of the spectrum of femininity. So until everyone can meet in the middle, we're not going to have a resolution.
I agree.
I think my conclusion is there's a lot of unpacking that needs to be done about femininity, about masculinity, mainly, in my opinion, about the patriarchy and about misogyny. And I think that men need to do more unpacking internally because women are constantly doing unpacking and men are not doing enough.
Yeah. And let me just end it with this. I feel like masculinity should include protecting femininity.
Yeah.
You know. All right, guys, gotta go. You guys enjoy
Andrea.
it. Tiffany, I love you. Oh my God.
I love you too,
and
girl.
Thank you all for coming through. This is a good conversation, right? If you guys have any more debate ideas, please give them to me and we will have those conversations.
Andrea, hit me up in my DMs. We can talk.
I will. I got you. Let's do this more. Listen,
yeah, for sure.
This whole conversation is going to be on my podcast, so you're going to be able. You won't be able to see us, but you're going to be able to hear everything we just said if you want to revisit some of the topics. All right.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, girl.
I'll send you the link too. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good day.